We're live. The episode has started. Episode 9.
The episode has
TyriaNow.
started. I'm not going to comment on the thing that I like from when we switch over to the screen.
Let's do one show where we don't start it that way.
Okay. Just leave it playing in the background. Alright. Welcome to TyriaNow. This is episode 9. We've got 9 of these suckers now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have 9 yet. We will
But this is
once
number 9.
this has been completed.
Arrow, who is one of my raid leaders, told me to tell you that she has 7.1k hours.
Damn.
She makes legendaries for other people, though. She's made a lot of legendaries for other people.
I am the most pathetic player of this game that existed in the history of Tyria. I need to uninstall and quit.
Oh my gosh. No. I am Miko and he is Aaron, and we're here to entertain you for a couple hours.
Ideally, yeah. If this isn't entertaining, I don't know what you're still doing here.
We're a bit silly. This is how our shows roll.
Yeah, essentially.
So,
I mean, like I said, like if you haven't picked that up by now.
I'm sorry, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know how to help.
Yeah. So, our title today is Eternal War on Timegating. So you can imagine what we're going to be talking about today. The new episode, we should probably put a spoiler tag in to our thing.
That's true. Yeah, we're not holding back, guys. It's full spoilers. Fair warning up front. But yeah, we probably should have put that in the title.
I will edit this in right now into our thing. So people know.
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna like you have a few minutes to like get away if you haven't played the story yet. But we both finally finished it. Neither of us got to play it day one, did we?
Nope. Okay, I have edited it. It says no spoiler filled. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah, I did not get a chance to play this until, well, I finished it last night at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I had played, I think, the first 2 steps the evening before, Thursday night.
I played 0 hours of this patch on patch day.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play on patch day. Being an adult is a rancid experience that I wouldn't wish on anyone.
It's terrible. I don't recommend it.
But yeah, new patch, guys. Living World,
patch.
Season 4, Episode 6, season finale. Wrapping up the saga of Aurene the Dragon. Is that what she's called? Aurene the Dragon? I don't know.
Yes.
It's been a saga, though, hasn't
it? Did they actually kill her? And what are we going to do now? Because our baby dragon is dead. Are they going to bring her back? Are we going to find her in the mist? And is she going to lead us through like the land? All the things were answered.
It sounds like you had a lot of interesting ideas for the story that maybe didn't pan out.
The one that I knew that they were going to do, they actually did. So
yeah, the one like I knew they had to do that one, right? I knew they had to do it, but I also think it's kind of dumb. They had to, like, they set it up, they had to do it, but I was also like, oh no. Like, I facepalmed when it happened, even so.
So before we jump in here, obviously we've played the patch. Have we been doing anything else? Should we just talk about that briefly? Have you been doing anything else?
So I played the World Boss bonus event last week.
I did as well.
Did you? I thought you didn't touch it.
I did. We've led a whole guild event, multi-guild event thing.
How many boxes did you get?
30 some odd, 40 some odd, 50 some odd, I don't know, somewhere in there. We ran Karka Queen. We farmed her with guild event spawns.
That works? That worked?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I did not know that would work.
I told you to come along.
So you just did like 90 Karka Queens?
Yeah, we did a whole crap ton of Karka Queens. We got tier 6 mats.
Jesus, I didn't even know you could do that.
Oh yeah. It was like legit like the most efficient way to do it. We did a couple of Tequaddles in there as well. And we had a lot of fun.
I sat there following the pleb timer like an idiot.
You see, this is why I told you. I said, hey, Aaron, you want to come and do this? And you're like, yeah, no.
I didn't know that would work.
We even gave away prizes.
Wow.
We gave away skins. We gave away a precursor. We gave away a doom chair.
So I already have a doom chair.
I know you do.
Did you get any infusions from your box?
I got lots of mats. And I got more rare. It was more lucrative to get the rare unidentified gear.
Yeah, no, that was pretty lucrative, especially since it was actually worth something before the patch that just came out. But I got 112 boxes total, and I got nothing out of them.
Yeah, go ahead.
To be fair, I wasn't expecting to. Like, I was aware of how ludicrously low the drop rates on these are. And I wasn't sitting there like, all right, I'm guaranteed an infusion. Like, I didn't expect to get anything. I didn't get anything. Oh, well.
Yeah. Got some mats. Hoarded the mats because why not? And,
yeah. And did you salvage your rares or sell them for money?
Sold them for money, man.
I salvaged all mine. 224 ectos were gained.
Did you sell them?
No, I hoard them in my personal guild storage bank.
Along with all of those obsidian shards that are account bound and I can't buy off of you.
No, they're account bound, so I can't put them in my GuildMag storage, which is absolutely infuriating. So I have to dedicate an entire character to storing them.
That's right. Oh, Lord.
They're actually spread across 2 characters now. It's gotten that bad.
Yeah. Arrow in chat says that we killed the Karka Queen 19 times. I know it was a lot. We did a lot of guild spawns. And we did, I think, 2 spawns that were actually on the timer, and then the rest of them were guild event, world event things.
Chat's also trying to tell us that they dropped 2 Jack infusions. I know it's not true. The Karka shells were nice, though.
Josh wouldn't do that. He would have sent them to us, as he told us he would.
No, he would have kept one and sold the other one.
I know.
I did tell, because I streamed all of my world boss farming, or like 90% of it, which actually weirdly halfway decent stream. You'd think it'd be really boring, but it wasn't bad.
No, yeah.
And I was like, okay, I want an Ember infusion and I want a Chak infusion to like use, right? Like I like how those look.
And you got none of them, neither.
Yeah, so like if I gotten those, I was going to keep them, and then the deal was if I got anything else, I would give it away. Nobody won. Nobody got anything.
Nobody won.
Yeah, it was a deal that didn't pan out.
That was last week. You can give Josh 20k gold, and he'd give it to you. He says.
I have actually one thing I was thinking about doing, because people buy Chak infusions off the TP, right?
Yes.
So one thing I was thinking of doing was just matching somebody's 10k TP for their Chak infusion, just giving someone a half-price Chak infusion and calling it a day.
I heard you say that on one of your streams, because you streamed early, and I actually was like, why is Aaron streaming this early in the morning? I can actually watch. My
schedule is non-existent.
Okay.
So I stream whenever I can, and I did a bunch of 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. streams that week. That was primarily.
You were streaming while I was at work, and I was like, why is Aaron streaming and not the middle of the night when I'm asleep? So I actually tuned in.
It was a weird week. And I got nothing but a stack of ectos out of it, which we can call a win. We can call that a win.
There you go.
Honestly, yeah.
And then what else have you done, Aaron?
I did some raiding.
He raided. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I did some raiding.
Aaron is now raiding with me on my Sunday afternoon team.
Yeah, she got me on the Sunday raid group.
Yep.
It's not bad. Not
bad. We're on Daddy Doom.
Yeah.
That group is on Daddy Doom.
Yeah, it's not bad. I didn't hate it.
We took Josh's spot because Josh ditched us.
Yeah.
The pleb.
Yep.
Just kidding, Josh. I love you.
So yeah, my first proper introduction to raiding was Doom, and luckily we have pretty good people on the raid team, so it went pretty well. I got carried pretty good. I liked it.
You did not. You fine. You did fine for going in blind. You did fine. And we took him through. He subbed in on Thursday. On a Thursday group, we did statues. Got him that.
Yeah, I got a few other bosses on the.
We took you through all the way to Samurog, so you've seen a fair bit now.
Samurog's pretty daddy, yeah.
Daddy, yeah, I like Samurog. One of my favorite fights.
Very, very cool boss.
30 DPS, dude. Josh, on your druid, you're awesome. Wait, yeah, Age is going. Yeah, Aaron is raiding.
Yeah, Age. I got carried through a couple raids.
He didn't.
Age willingly, not entirely willingly. I want my motivation.
His motivation was the legendary trinket from from the new raid wings 5 and 6. So,
yeah,
that was his motivation, and I dangled that carrot in front of him, and I was like, "We can do that for you."
So I want coalescence, and you have to do wings 5, 6, and 7 for that. And Sandra's like, "Well, I just so happen to have a group that's progressing wing 5 and soon wing 6," and I'm like, "You got me."
I may be interested.
Yeah, you got me. You mean to tell me I can skip wings 1 through 4 and start right where I need to? Sign me up.
Yeah. And you've already got legendary armor, so you don't really even need the collections from 1 through 3.
That was the other thing that kind of like I was like, okay, I can do this now because I can change my build to whatever I need it to be. So,
but we can get you the other collection stuff, so you can get some free ascended gear as well, if you like.
Free ascended gear, never a bad thing. I still have characters I need to gear and ascended stuff.
Yeah, see, and you even got ascended drops.
I did. I got that. I feel like what some person in my chat said that I feel like is probably true is getting that ugly ass bow is like a rite of passage.
It is.
The raid,
it really is. Yeah, the samurai
that awful looking bow.
Yep.
It's like,
and you'll get it a lot because that wing drops it quite often.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that caught us up. We'd raided, we world boss farmed, we played the patch.
Yep.
So let's talk about this patch.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! Turn your cameras off now, your computers off now if you haven't played the patch. That's your warning.
Spoiler alert is in effect, guys. So it's not our fault. Don't at me. All right. We're diving in.
We are diving in. Yeah, guild chat yesterday was all about the patch, so I didn't watch because I hadn't finished.
Yes. I didn't watch because guild chat is at noon, which is, if you're like an adult person with a job, you can't watch guild chat at noon. Right. So
if you're me and you watch guild chat anyway, you do.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few guild. I normally don't watch it, right? It just, the ones I have watched, I found didn't really have any extra information for me. So, like, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I don't get much out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't really take the time to watch it. That's kind of it. So yeah, I didn't watch the guild chat, but I have been playing the patch. I played a good few hours of it.
All right. Well, let's get into. What do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the episode itself, before we get into like the map and all that good stuff?
Let's cover the story.
Alrighty, story time.
Yep. What did you think?
Well, I knew that they were going to bring her back.
Yes.
And I knew it was going to be because of the whole Joko thing. So I was not surprised in the least.
It had to happen.
It did have to happen. And it was kind of cool, and I was happy to have Aureen back because Aureen...
I like Aureen. I too am ultimately glad to see her back because I enjoy it. Like I said it at our show after episode 5, that's what I said. I was like, dude, they're going to bring back Aureen, and I couldn't be happier because I like Aureen, right? And I will hold to that, but I do have a problem with what they did. So
Aureen now has a voice.
She does. That was very abrupt, too.
It was very abrupt. I was not expecting to hear her. I was expecting when we saw that Kaith got her petals back, I thought, oh, okay, Kaith will be voice of Aureen yet again, 2.0. And then Aureen started talking, and everyone else could hear her. And I went, what?
Yeah.
So that was a bit, I needed explanation there as to, like, why was that?
I feel like the voice was, like, it's fine. It was just jarring at first, right? Yeah, it was just jarring at first, but you get used to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I like the voice actress who plays it.
It sounds very, like, ethereal and majestic and stuff. It fits the whole dragon thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that. And Bram had the best line. As he laughed maniacally and said, "Praise Joko."
I hate Bram.
I know, but I literally laughed out loud when he said that. Because
it was
funny.
Yeah.
It was funny.
I don't know. My beef with this is that I talked about this on
your stream?
Previous episodes of this show. After episode 5, ArenaNet was so smug about having killed this character.
Yes.
They went to conventions.
Yes.
And did panels.
Yes.
On character killing.
Yes.
They were like, look at us talk about killing characters because
look at how we threw our players through the gut-wrenching thing of losing
we are hardcore and kill our main characters. So let's do a panel on it at multiple conventions.
And they interviews and everything.
They didn't even really do it. No. And while they were doing all those panels on it, they knew they didn't really do it. They knew, and they did it anyway.
Yes.
I'm sorry, like their wanton smugness has offended me.
Their wanton smugness has offended you. I mean, we all knew she was coming back. So even as they were going through all of this, I was like, dude, what are you doing? You're gonna bring her back. Why did you have her eat Joko if you're not gonna bring her back?
That was my big confusion, because I thought that
was a troll.
The sheer arrogance that they displayed could not possibly mean
they're not going
that Irene was coming back. I was like, she ate Joko, which would mean she's probably coming back. But why would they do that if they're touring all over the place and talking about how hardcore they are? And so I just had this giant conflict in my brain. And as I'm playing this episode, I'm like, they're not gonna. Oh no!
They did it.
Like, I get it. They set it up in episode 3. They had to do it, but they didn't need to be so arrogant after episode 5. That's my big beef.
The thing that they seemed to enjoy the most in interviews and in conventions and even on Guild Chat was showing that reaction clip from streamers losing their minds because Irene died.
Mm-hmm.
Irene and Ed, I love you guys, but why? Why would you do that? And it's kind of like, we're just gonna play with you, and then throw the dagger through your heart, and then bring her back to I don't know.
I don't even remember what my reaction was. Like, I was streaming, and I walked up on. I think I was just like, "Oh shit, is she dead?" Like, I don't know. I don't think I had a super hardcore reaction.
I don't know. I didn't catch your stream that day, but I know that when I played through it, I was like shocked.
Mm-hmm.
So my reaction was very similar to a lot of the streamers. I was just shocked, and I was like, I can't believe they killed her.
Mm-hmm.
What are we gonna do now? So it was that I had that emotional connection afterwards. Plus, that whole ending for that episode was just epic.
I don't know. Ever since Flashpoint, ever since Flashpoint, I've been not as invested in the story.
Yeah, I remember.
So I guess I don't really get those reactions about it anymore. Yeah. Like, I was very kind of mellowed out throughout playing this finale as well.
Well, Flashpoint for you was like one of the hard trigger points for you with the story.
Flashpoint for me was literally a flashpoint. Yeah. Like,
it was.
And I did have a Flashpoint moment in this finale. There was a specific moment in this finale that just had me going, oh, what the fuck? So we'll get there. Okay. But yeah, I think that's why, like, I don't react super heavily. Because, like, I'm a rewards progression player at this point in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more, like, I have a lot more to say about the map and the mount and all that good stuff. But yeah, as far as like them doing this, I get it, right? They set it up, they had to do it. I get it. I'm just like kind of rolling my eyes at their conduct post episode 5 in light of this recent revelation.
It was like they were rubbing it in.
Yeah.
They were rubbing it in like, yeah, we killed her for you. You guys are all gut wrench. We're just gonna rub your faces in the poop that we've just left you.
Yeah. And it
and then they brought her back.
2 minutes. 2 minutes into the episode.
I was like, all right, maybe if they bring her back, they're gonna like let it go. But they brought her back like right away, and I was like,
seconds.
I was like,
into this patch.
Okay, that was fast. I was expecting it, but okay, that was still, it felt a bit quick.
Yeah.
So we get her back, and then we get to. It was just a meme fest. It felt like we got her back because of the whole Joko thing. Then she gets a voice. That was nice. Not explained, but that was okay. And then we got the thing that everyone wanted. We got to ride Irene as a mount.
I will say, like what you just said there about it being a meme fest, that was literally like I used that word when I was streaming this. I was like, this scene is a Reddit meme that they've actually put into the story. It really was.
One of the things that I kind of say a lot, I guess, I don't know if I've said it on the show, but I know that I talk about it often, is that they like to troll us.
They do, yeah.
And some of this felt like that. Yeah. So we got to ride Aurene. We didn't get to really control Aurene all that well.
It was very on rails. Yeah. There was the illusion of gameplay during this sequence.
Okay, I have an opinion on this, but what was your opinion of riding on Aurene next to Daddy Croc and
I hated this gameplay instance. This was one of the worst things I've ever played in Guild Wars. So in the Zhaitan instance, when you're on the airship and you're going towards Zhaitan,
yes,
and there's about 5 minutes of downtime between doing things.
Yes,
it's the same thing in this.
That's exactly what I said too.
You just sit there and do nothing for minutes.
I was like, okay, we're gliding along, and this feels like we're on the airship again, next to Zhaitan, or waiting for his dragon little champions that we have to shoot from the cannons.
Yeah,
and then we had the press 1 to shoot his. I was like, okay, why are we getting this again?
Except this time you're just hitting 1 to shoot Kralkatorrik's wing
target thing,
which you can't. Like, there's no real gameplay involved here, right? And then it's like, don't let Kralkatorrik get away, and I'm just like, you're literally playing the game.
I know. I was like, well, I can't accelerate because you won't let me control her, so I'm just gliding along. All right, Aurene, go faster. I don't have a whip to crack you with, but go faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And chat makes a great point in that the Thunderhead Peaks fight was better. Yeah, it was.
There are a lot of... Okay, we'll get there in a second. But yeah, there's that. The flying debris that you have to dodge. And then all of a sudden you get the whole new player experience thing where you get the tutorial stuff show up on your screen. And I was like, I was going to do that, but I'm now distracted by your instructions on telling me what to do. And I just got hit twice. I have 600 HP, and I've got to complete this instance without dying. All right, sure, I'll glide along.
Now we're back in the Morgemoth instance where we got to dodge flying debris. Everybody knows how much we love doing that.
Yes, I hadn't thought of that connection, but yeah, thank you for reminding me.
It's the same exact technology. Yeah. It's the same tech.
Yeah. And it wasn't even like if they'd had a lot of debris flying at us for like a long time, but this was like literally 1 second of debris, and then it was.
There's like one instance of debris later, but yeah, there's only one or two, maybe 3.
And I was like,
yeah. And the first one comes right at you. It's like it will hit you if you don't move fast enough, but the subsequent ones won't hit you. You can take your hands off the keyboard; they won't hit you.
Yeah, Aurene, do your thing. Dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we basically, like, story wise, they're just like, all right, let's go find Kralkatorrik and Aurene. Like, we ride her off.
The second skill that you get to block his tail, they could have done more with that. They did it like block his tail, and I was like, oh, we got to do this. Spam the 2, and I was like, oh, I only needed to do it for that one you told me. Okay. Yeah.
And like once more past that, but you don't even die if you get hit by it.
I used it to block some debris, and then I did get the whole block.
That works.
Thing. Oh yeah, it worked. And then we got the 3 skill to open up the portal. Mm-hmm.
Which you just use on cooldown. You do 3 of them for the 3 areas in the map, and then
yeah, do it when you're told. It just felt very not. It didn't. I was disappointed. Let's just put it that way.
Well, and if you're me and you play through the story on every character, the first thing I'm thinking when I'm playing through this is, I'm going to have to do this 8 more times. Like, as I'm sitting here cruising along doing nothing for like 30-second blocks,
I will say, though,
it's like, I have to do this over and over again.
At least it does not last as long as the whole flying around on the airship.
It's not quite that long. Yeah, it's too long for sure. It's absolutely too long. But it's not as bad as the Zhaitan instance.
Well, and then when we shoot his wing off and he falls through the sky.
It's a pretty cool cutscene.
It's a cool cutscene, yes. But it was yet another, we've shot Zhaitan's tail and he's falling, and there we go. Now he's clinging to, like...
I haven't seen that shaman size comparison update yet. But he will. He's that shaman. Come on.
Yeah, this is true.
Like, he does every time we get a full size elder dragon, he does a size scale update.
Yeah, he does.
I feel like Kralkatork is smaller during that flying segment than he's portrayed everywhere else.
But yeah, so I had echoes of Zaitan, the Zaitan thing flying through my head the whole time. I was like,
he's not as small as Zaitan, but
no, but I'm talking like the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole of him falling through from the sky. It just felt very. We've done this already.
Well, yeah, because it was all super easy, right? Like we went through all this heartache of like, wow, how do we fight this dragon? The whole of episode 5 was this is an impossible fight. How do we?
Yeah, this is Daddy Kralk. Right? He's got all of this magic in him from all these other dragons and Balthazar and
and so we're like, oh, we got to get these sick dredge plates, right? Oh, we got to get
sick dredge plates. We need the dragon's blood weapons, and we need all of this cool stuff.
And we need every army that's ever existed to all come together and fight. And then this episode, Oreen's like, I can actually just shoot him out of the sky. It's fine.
Yeah, you're like a guy. Yeah, exactly. She's like,
what?
Yeah. So my experience, I think, sounds like it was similar to yours. When we got through it that first instance, and we were like, oh. Okay.
I heard a lot of complaints about that first instance too. A lot of people didn't like it.
I mean, I was glad to. The high point, getting Oreen back. Praise Jogo, and yeah.
I mean, like I said, this was one route they could have gone, and they went it right. This isn't bad writing or anything like that. It's just one of the possible routes they could have gone. I think Miko thinks it's bad writing, but. I mean, I couldn't do better.
I think my overall reaction, which I will reiterate later on, is that I was expecting more. Episode 5 felt like I said, really epic, pretty much throughout, and this started off a bit. Oh, okay. We got Oreen back fast. Okay, we're gliding along. Oh, this reminds me of Zaitan. Okay, let's get into the map.
Yeah, one thing I will say is as we were coming up to this episode, I was trying to theorize possible ways they could. I don't care that much about the story, but I could think about it anyway, right? Like I was trying to theorize possible ways they could continue. We could continue to have some hope of dealing with Kralkatork without Oreen. And the conclusion I came to was Kaith, right? Because Kaith has become a vassal of Oreen.
Right.
And so I was like, well, if they don't bring Oreen back, Kaith could be the key to the whole thing, and you could still move the story forward.
They could have stretched out the whole, when they started resonating or pulling out the brand spear things, and she was like, the commander says, oh, it's an echo of Oreen's magic. They could have dragged that out a bit longer, maybe.
And one thing I will say is Tom Abernathy, the narrative lead, he responds to a lot of different game threads on Twitter, and he responded to one of my tweets. And what he basically said was that they had to kind of dial back the Kaith and Oreen connection more than they wanted to, because they just didn't have room for what they wanted to say about it. Alongside everything else. That was what he said on Twitter. It's not like on the record or anything, right? But I mean, yeah, he basically said that they wanted to explore that. Yeah, they wanted to explore that aspect more, but they weren't able to. Apparently.
And that's something that he brought up in the guild chat that they did on the Requiem story. I think because I know that I had expected them to bring that up more in the Requiem story, and they didn't. They did more of Kaith's backstory with Fowlin, which I was okay. Thanks. It was interesting, but I was just expecting more of.
We never did talk about the Kaith Requiem, did we? I didn't. I didn't dislike the story. I was just like, that didn't tell me anything that I was wondering about, right? Yeah. Like the Ritlock one was like, you guys always wanted to know about Ritlock. Here it is, right? We were like, wow, that was cool.
Yeah.
And then the Zafira one was like, here's everything about this character. And we're like, wow, that's also very cool. And then the Kaith one was like, all those things you're wondering about Kaith? Nah, this isn't that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it was interesting. Like, I thought we talked about this last episode, but the Kaith backstory left me feeling as if Kaith was weaker than I had really pictured her from all of my interactions in game with her through different characters.
Well, you got to be careful here, right? Because Keith is a victim of psychological and emotional abuse. So
I will understand. I will say that while I get that, and
you don't want to go around calling her weak because that's attacking people. I'm joking here. I'm joking.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just a story, guys. It's just a story.
I understand the whole abuse angle and the emotional, psychological thing that they were trying to bring out with her. That was not the undercurrent that I thought was fueling her.
That's not Kate's character at all.
In my interactions with Kate from 2012 up until a couple of weeks ago when this story was published.
It's not Kate's character at all.
It felt out of character.
Even like, because I don't know if you watched Wooden Potatoes analysis video.
Yeah, well, he was even confused.
He brought up some, you guys should watch that video if you haven't,
really
Wooden Potatoes on the Requiem story. He brought up some really good points about Kate's character as described in some website stories that were written about Kate and Fallon and Catiern all the way back in like circa 2013, 2014. Mm-hmm. Where Kate, even during her time with Fallon, even during her time at the beginning of the Sylvari, is very cocky, very arrogant. I mean, like, to use this terminology is kind of weird, but she's a top, right? Kate is a top, guys. All right? Like,
she's not the bottom. But no, yes, yeah, exactly. I agree. I get what you're saying, but yes.
That's who she's been since inception, pretty much.
Right. And so, yeah.
Fallon is kind of a domineering presence, too. But I definitely, like, the way Kate is described in the story with Fallon, I don't think syncs up with the portrayal they've painted with her so far. That could be the point. Because I think what the author wants to say is Kate isn't who you thought she was.
Right.
But I don't think it works.
She's thiefy deception to her core.
Yeah, I just don't think
what it was just stealth powder blinding you.
Right. Oh
or
boy.
Something. I'm getting to the character stuff, yeah.
I just don't think it worked super well. I get what the author's trying to go for, I think, but I don't think it quite worked with the Kate's prior characterization.
All right. So
guys.
That was our little hot take on the Requiem story in the middle of story time here with. All right. So while we didn't even talk about this, Aaron, what the heck is wrong with us? We got to see when we were gliding, chasing Kralkatorrik, we got to go through Underworld a little bit. Mm-hmm. Fisher of Woe. Mm-hmm. And what was the other one?
I don't remember what Melandru's realm is called.
Melandru's realm. We'll just call it that for now.
That's what I've been calling it. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But it's on the wiki. But somebody's updated the wiki.
Yeah, the wiki's got some updates to it already. All right. So the new map. So we landed in the new map. We've got a new base, Pact Camp. The new map is.
This is basically where Kralkatorrik crash lands after we use our Aurene fighter jet to bring him down with impunity.
To blow off one of his wings.
Yeah.
Because she can do this now.
While incurring no damage to ourselves at all.
No. Unless you got hit by the debris. But
for a second, guys, imagine if during this scene, so we blow off Kralkatorrik's wing with Aurene. I want that coalescence ring so bad. So we blow off Kralkatorrik's wing with Aurene. Then Kralkatorrik kills Aurene for real. And now we get to deal with wounded Kralkatorrik. The battlefield's even, and Aurene still dies. ArenaNet, hire me. I don't want to work there.
All right, but so yeah, the thing about her blowing off the wing was I mean, is this supposed to be another part of Joko's powers that she is able to like be a beefed up fighter jet like you said? Because when we were fighting him in the forge at the end of episode 4, all we were able to do is blind him in one eye.
She's dragon power, boy. That's dragon shit right there.
Where was that dragon shit at the end of episode 4?
She's all roided up.
Because
She's
that's
ready to
it.
go.
She stepped in front of us, blasted him, and it was like, you know, little tiny thing, a big dragon roar, and then, you know.
And now she's blowing off.
And now she's blowing off his wing.
Yeah, there's a lot of inconsistency where Arena's concerned. Let's just accept that right now.
Okay, so she blew him out of the sky. He crash lands into Dragonfall as the new map name. And tears. We basically got him to land on Tyria.
Yes, it's in the
with different pieces of the mists that have fallen out of the mists with him.
Yes, and this is in the middle of the ocean between Scavenger's Causeway and the Ring of Fire Islands in the Unending Ocean. It's pretty remote.
It's pretty close to Cantha, to the west.
Cantha's to the south.
And west.
Yes, but primarily south.
I'm telling you, we're closer to Cantha now.
Yes, this could be a jumping off point from the mist.
And if we're in the middle of the Unending Ocean, Steve McBubbles is next. I'm just kidding. All right.
Actually, I don't think you're far off.
I know. It's probably too... I mean, we thought she'd be back because of Joko. Who knows? We should just predict the story from now on. All right, so we're in the middle of the Unending Ocean. We've got Dragonfall. We've got the Krokotorek, whose head is buried in the land, not the sand. And
he did a big old face plant.
He did a big old face plant. Yes, he did. And he's wingless, so he's got one wing missing. And what do we got to do? First thing we got to do is
handle it.
The first thing we got to do is get the lay of the land for our Asura geniuses, because they want to know what the seismic impact is of the land.
This is clearly just a run around. So this is a run around mission.
So we do this, and we've got to plant sensors for Goric. 3 of them.
A little formulaic again, isn't it? There's one of these.
We get to interact, but what it does is it gets us to start exploring the map.
Yeah, no, it's been like this all season. Like, you get an instance, you do a run around, and then you do an instance. That's every Living World episode.
Yeah, except that this one we've got 3 run rounds and then another instance. We'll get to that in a second. So Landfall is the second chapter or step, and so we do this for Goric, and we discover that the land is teeming with leyline magic.
Yeah.
It's terror. I was like, why are we surprised by this?
As places that need to be doing so tend to be.
It's Tyria. We've established in season 1 or end of 1 that ley lines are crisscrossing across the land. Why are we surprised that there's ley line magic flowing underneath this place? That was my question.
They just needed to push this thing to an end.
So, all right. So we established this, and what do they discover at the end of this one? That he's sitting on a big ley line hub, and apparently is healing himself.
It's healing him, yeah,
from the ley line magic, because dragons.
He's basically hooked into an IV drip, guys. Krokotorik's on an IV drip.
That's not what I was thinking, but yes, that is true. Very true.
Yeah.
So he's got a ley line IV drip that he's face planted himself into to heal himself from Aurene blowing him out of the sky, and us attacking him at the end of episode 5 with Canuck's bombs and poking his eye out and things.
One thing we
also blasted his wings. I forgot. And
one thing we didn't comment on was the grape Kool-Aid that spills out of him while he's flying.
His
Krokotorik blood.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second.
And triple berry smoothie popping out of this dude while he's flying along.
Shut it, because Starbucks is going to come out with a new Krokotorik drink now just because of you.
Yeah.
What was it that you tweeted out? Was it Arby's that had an eternity?
Yeah, Arby's had an eternity shoved into their burger. And it was very clearly like...
And it was 4 War Eternal.
This isn't just a thing that exists. Like, you'd have to 3D print that.
That was something that they probably got from ArenaNet.
Either they got it from Arena. I was thinking, like, is Arby's 3D printing their own meme props now?
Dude.
Like, are they upping their game?
On marketing. That's ArenaNet going, here, do something with this.
I'm just saying.
They're like, we're gonna stab this and tweet it.
Arby's is upping their meme game, guys.
There you go. So that was the thing. So we got the probes, ley line discovered. All right. And then the next one is another fetch quest around the map. This one is to introduce us to the Skyscale.
Mm-hmm. I don't like how this thing handles.
Helicopter.
And it handles like one.
It really does. It really does.
Do you like it?
What I got to play around with yesterday at like 2 a.m. when I got to this part of the story, and I was half not really awake, but I'm playing through the story anyway. It was okay. I think it probably, the borrowed version doesn't have
no masteries.
Yeah. So you're getting the base. This is probably what you're going to unlock when you finish all those collections to unlock it. But yeah, I like that it can go higher. I like that it can hover and you don't fall out of the sky as you're checking things out, as I was doing, because I was like, I got to figure out where I am on this map and where I need to go. Oh, I can hover on this. Let me just open my map. I don't have to land.
I definitely think the hovering is the best thing this mount does. Mm-hmm. Did you get the mastery point where you have to Skyscale hover to get it?
I don't think I have yet.
There's a mastery point in the map where you can only get it by hovering.
Yeah, I picked up a bunch of other mastery points, but I haven't done that one yet because that's not sounding familiar. So I will at some point.
So, you know, when this mount was announced and they told us what it was and they did the guild chat on it, got all the information. Yeah. And I said that I didn't feel like this mount had a place in the roster. That is 100% accurate.
I felt
this mount is useless.
I felt like one thing I appreciate about this map, because it is so vertical, I actually find like I can just ride my Griffin and I don't have to worry about falling out of the sky and landing, because I'm actually going to be airborne for a lot longer. So I've actually appreciated my Griffin more.
Well, and I can see the Skyscale working on this map as a convenience mount, because you can just stay on it, right? And you can go up your cliffs and stuff. I'm going Griffin Springer, Griffin Springer, Griffin Springer, right? Because I need to get around this map.
Yeah, I've been doing Griffin Springer and Oakart Essence Web Sling.
But it's not so bad that I'm like, gee whiz, I wish I had a Skyscale, right? It's just, it would be maybe mildly, but I would still, even then, I would be going Skyscale Griffin, because the Griffin is still faster, point A to point B. I'm not going to be camping Skyscale. It's not going to happen.
No,
so if I'm swapping mounts anyway, I like my experience won't. My experience won't change. I'll just be swapping to Skyscale instead of Springer. It's just the new Springer. Like, it has no.
Did you notice the change on Springer that they did?
Yeah, it recharges faster.
It recharges faster, yeah. Which I think is a nice addition. I would still love it if we didn't knock our head on things, but okay. Yeah, but I didn't mind it. I need to, I think, play around with it a bit more. I was in the part of the go around the map thing where you have to go up to find his wing on the Skyscale. I was not, it told you to go fly under the wing and to go up to find the scab that you're supposed to blast off. And I was not able to figure out at 2 a.m. where I needed to be directing the Skyscale to go up high enough. So I wasn't able to gain enough height to go up. And I was landing on ledges and trying to figure this out. And then I looked on the map and I was like, okay, there are more Skyscale roosts around on the other side. I bet you I can just Griffin, Bunny, Oakart Essence, and get myself up there to where I need to be. So that's what I did. I went the long way around at 2 a.m. because it saved my sanity. And I said, I'll figure this out later.
And chat is wondering whether the Skyscaler or Springer goes higher. I don't know which one goes higher right now, just right from the start, but I think with your masteries max, the Skyscale will probably go higher.
I think so.
Also, like, since the Skyscale can fly to begin with, like I said, the hovering is where I think this is going to be a thing. Like, if you want to get some nice landscape screenshots, right? Go ahead and hover on your Skyscale, but apart from that, I think it's functionally relatively useless, and I would have much rather had an underwater mount, but they're never going to give us an underwater mount because nobody likes underwater and everybody loves time gates. No underwater, more time gates. Guild Wars 2 community.
We haven't gotten there yet. Hold that thought. But one of the things that like, I know that I would attach, or it would attach to a wall at certain points and not at others, and I think I'm not sure about this, but I think those were invisible walls that it was hitting, or it was a mastery thing that because it doesn't have the masteries unlocked, it wasn't able to cling to things or certain parts of walls.
Well, and that's what I was wondering, because I asked about this on the previous episodes as well, was how are you going to map the cling mechanic to every cliff texture in the whole game, right? Like collision-wise. And obviously it's going to be janky in some spots.
Well, I think it's going to be if you can stand on a ledge portion, it'll probably be easier to just cling to that ledge.
I'm saying. Well, I mean, honestly,
so existing ledges will probably, I think, will work.
I can't quite remember, but I think you recover like a small amount of flight juice when you cling to a ledge, right? But not all of it. I remember correctly.
You recover none.
None. Okay, yeah. So
you only recover flight juice if you land, or if you use the dismount engage skill and you're too high up in the air to actually engage, you'll recover flight juice that way.
So if I am not recovering flight juice when I am clinging to walls and I could just be missing something, what's the point? Yeah. Am I crazy, or is there no point?
No. I mean, yeah. You can use is it Bond of Vigor, to reclaim some? Because I was able to do that a couple times.
You can with Bond of Vigor, yeah.
And then once you get to a flat spot, it'll recover everything, so that you can keep going up.
Flat. Chat saying that with the mastery you can recover flight juice while you cling. Okay, like if you can with the mastery, that's a little better. Because then you can just go up indefinitely. I think this mount, and I believe this, I think this mount was shoehorned in to sell Oreen mount skins. 100%.
I think that would be too much investment in a gem store item. Why would you invest the tech for a gem store item?
There's two reasons.
You could have given an Oreen skin to an existing mount called the Griffin.
Maybe, but Griffin doesn't sell like Dragon sells. So you can market the episode on there. You can market the episode on there's a new Dragon mount, which sounds way cooler marketing wise than pretty much anything else.
Which is what they did.
Yes. And then now they've got all those people in, and now everyone's played the story and knows who Oreen is. You want to ride Oreen forever? Yeah. All right, here we go. 2,000 gems in the gem.
I'm waiting for it because I'm expecting it to come next week.
Yeah.
Although, will people have the Skyscale unlocked next week? I don't know.
Yes, they will. 4 days is what I've heard. The total time.
I haven't started my collectioning for the Skyscale, so I don't know how long it's going to take.
4 days is what I've been hearing from people, so people should be getting it today.
So then we should see some skins coming on Tuesday then.
Yeah. So yeah, people will be getting their Skyscales pretty soon. They'll become. I haven't even gotten to the time gate on mine yet. I just haven't had any time to play this week.
Your life is time gating you.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So yeah, I'm gonna be super late on my Skyscale. I did one of the first collections. I mean, we're still in story. Like we can talk about the Skyscale collections later.
All right. So after we go and blow the scab off. Then we've got to go collect Krokatorik's blood, which is grape juice flying down, and we just hover. So, yeah, I think that step, at least playing around with the Skyscale mechanics, and figuring out how to drive it, was okay.
I mean, like I said, the open world stuff in Living World episodes is always filler. There's never really anything interesting with it. The ambient NPC dialogue in the camps throughout this map is more interesting than the open world story.
Because I was trying to get through the story, I've explored the map only as much as I needed to for the story. So there are certain things that I will be getting more into as
I'll talk about the map after we finish talking story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we collect his blood, and we're doing this because now we can make real dragon's blood weapons without the forge, because Goric has conveniently realized that we can plate weapons.
We can wet weapons. We can wet weapons.
Plate them, like gold plating. You're attaching an essence to a metal.
Okay. Plate. I was thinking like dinner plate. I was like,
no, plate them by having the Zephrite sing without the forge.
Yeah, that's convenient, isn't it?
Why didn't we do this shit last episode?
Fantasy writing. You can do it.
So there are a lot of things that I'm just kind of like, okay. Yeah. So we get our dragon. This is the next step. We go around. We get our dragon's blood spear. The Zephyrites sing to it in the blood and reforge, and yay, we got a spear that we carry around on our back. And we get our special action key, and it's like super dope OP, just like it was at the beginning of last episode.
Yep.
And then we go around the map and we kill some branded to test it.
Filler nonsense. Yep.
And then we discover that he being Kralkatorik, who's face planted into the ground, is feeding off of a leyline hub, essentially, to heal himself. And oh, look, here's the entrance to the cave where you can go in to do this and get to the leyline hub. And
how? Wait, are we there yet? No, because we still got to go into the leyline hub, so we have to like defend it, right? Because stuff is like attacking it, obviously. So we got to defend the leyline hub.
We have to go in and scare him by destroying the opening or something.
We destroy it. Yeah. We destroy his leyline supply.
And we yell at him, Kralkatorik, take this. And I was like, really? This is what we're doing with this? I can't.
Your I can't moment came here. My I can't movement comes right directly after this.
When we go into the
what do we do next? What do we do?
We go in with our friends, and we tell Logan not to leave, which I thought was like the greatest shade Ritlock could ever throw at Logan.
Yeah,
I was like, he's been holding that back for years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And tells him not to leave, stay with the Pact, and in Clint's army will take care of this. And we go into the leyline hub, and we've got to break the nodes. Seal the nodes, I should say. We're going to seal the nodes. The leyline nodes.
I killed a bunch of branded.
We killed a bunch of branded.
Yeah.
You AoE them, you spear them, you just kill them. We gotta seal 3 things, and I should have known then what this was leading us up to, because the whole idea of sealing magic away didn't happen anytime soon in a raid recently. Yeah. So
you've got a rant about this instance, don't you? I'll let you go for that after I tell you. After we go over
so
what happens next.
We sealed the ley lines, and where was your I can't?
So Goric,
giving him permission to rant.
Timey calls us, and she's like, Kralkatorik's body is dead, but he's alive. First of all, what? So she's like, you can only kill him from the inside.
Oh,
and so what do we do?
Because his heart is alive.
What do we do?
We into his
go
mouth.
inside Kralkatorik through his mouth.
Yeah.
I can't.
I know. I went.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in a video game.
We're sure that he's dead. He's not going to just like troll us and like. Why are we jumping into the whale? We're not
like chat says magic school bus status. I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah, that was my like Flashpoint I can't moment. Like that same time when in Flashpoint I was like, so I'm jumping into a volcano to chase Balthazar. All right, this is stupid. I'm physically climbing down Kraukatorik's esophagus.
Which looked a lot like a leyline hub with leyline rocks and everything, which I guess is the point, since they consume magic, that they are going to be looking like
comprised of magic, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's like we not only jumped the shark, we jumped the Elder Dragon on this one, guys.
Yeah.
Climb in through his mouth.
We need to have our Legolas moment of spearing him through, the eyeball. We're going to jump into his belly and spear him through the heart. But first, before you get there, the one part that I did like about this, which is we're now on the last story step, which came surprisingly quickly in this episode, I thought.
It was a pretty fast one. Yeah.
It was very fast. We only got 2 instances in this episode, opening and closing, and then the epilogue. And then we had in between filler. Did you want to go to the other... Did you want to go the other direction, Aaron? I don't know, Deo.
No, I mean I get the joke. But
I get the joke, yeah. But
I just oh, we have to go inside the dragon. Let's climb in his mouth. Like that's just come on. Like that's stupid, right? Am I crazy or is that stupid?
I mean it wasn't the smartest, but hey, whatever. The one thing that I will say that I did like about this encounter was that it gave Aurene an opportunity to tell us more information about what's happening to the dragons because of their consumption of excess magic from other sources not native to themselves.
Mm-hmm. And that's what this whole fight is about. The fight isn't about the fight.
The fight isn't about killing Kraukatorrik.
No.
For Kraukatorrik's sake, it's about liberating Kraukatorrik from the influences of the other dragons and of Balthazar that are competing and basically tearing him apart.
Basically, Kraukatorrik has become a crack fiend for magic, and it's destroying him.
I mean, part of it is our fault, right? Because we went and killed 2 dragons, and then we killed the god of war. All right, so 3 of it's our fault. So we've kind of screwed this dragon up.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have left him alone, and he would have just been crazy Krauk of the mind, purple magic. But no. So all of this other stuff is just kind of putting him in pain. So I liked that we got that insight into him.
Well, and it's all told through the dialogue in the instance, between Kraukatorrik and Aurene. They talk to each other, and Kraukatorrik's torment and Kraukatorrik are 2 distinct entities.
Yes.
The fight itself, mechanically, is weak.
If my friends watching us today, if you have rated this entire end sequence is an amalgamation of parts of Wings 5 and 6. So if you're afraid of raiding, I tell you, do not be afraid of raiding, because if you've defeated Kraukatorrik here, you can raid. Why?
It can't be that easy. It's got to be way harder in the raid. Come on.
Okay. So the Torment of Kraukatorrik is literally Conjured Amalgamate, the first boss in Wing 6. Every single mechanic is the same. Fight me if you're in chat and you raid. Tell me I'm wrong.
Chat says the raid is easier.
The raid is easier. He does the top. He does the throwing crap at you. You've got to fight his arms. Okay. And then you go on what is an escort event taken from Wing 5 when we're escorting Desmina. But now we're escorting Aurene, who has the protective bubble, as we go to the little mini-bosses of Balthazar, Zaitan, and Mordramoth.
Mordramoth. And, no, you got it, yeah. Thought you forgot one, but you didn't.
Yeah, which is surprisingly not too much unlike the little mini bosses that we have to fight when you fight.
Low key, the Morgemoth one was kind of hard. You kicked my ass. I burned the other two down super quick, but the Morgemoth one.
He was a little mean. Yeah, he was a little mean.
I'm probably just a noob, but holy crap! It booted me right off the frickin' shelf.
Okay. So they're not all that dissimilar from what we've got to do with some of the little mini bosses in the Kadim instance. Except that you're obviously getting some help from Kadim's lamp and his creatures there, but whatever. Find a little mini boss. Okay. We had visual tells. You know that shockwave that the hands threw out? Okay, that's not in Conjured Amalgamate, but you know where it is? It's in the Kadim fight, and it's in the Largos Twins, both in Wing 6. And visual tell, the little red ring that goes out to warn you, shockwave incoming, please dodge, is from that.
I didn't even... This is how bad I am at rating. I didn't even see the indicator.
Right. It's a hard tell to pick up if you're not knowing what... If you haven't seen it.
So you're like red ring, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So now I can no longer unsee that.
Is that on Samarag as well?
No.
Oh, okay, so that's why I kept getting hit on Samarag.
Yeah, Samarag's is clear, and it's translucent, I should say, semi-opaque. But anyway, so usually final episode or final instances in these Living World episodes, they're usually teaching me different things, or I've got to figure out mechanics, either piecing them together from other things that we've seen during the episode, or throwing a little bit twist out there, and I've got to figure something out, and I'm like, it makes it a little bit more engaging for me the first time through. This time I went in and I went, oh, okay, I know what to do here. I know what to do here. I had to figure nothing out, so I was just like it's a good thing that I was tired, so I guess.
It's not a new fight in any way.
It wasn't a new, for me, as somebody who's rated and seen all of these mechanics, I didn't have to figure anything out. And that made it a bit boring for me.
You know, it was a pretty interesting fight. Paolo with Joko. That was an interesting fight. Like what they did with the wall and the special action you had to do. That was kind of cool. Just thinking back on that. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't that I was unfamiliar with these mechanics. It's just this struck me as bog standard Guild Wars 2. The boss is invuln. There's a pretty clear way to uninvuln them. Then you burn them a bit. Then they're invulned again. So you do the scamper and you kill the guy, and then you come back and then you burn. Like that's Guild Wars 2. I don't know. They're all the same to me. All these boss fights. I'm like, all right, how do I make it so I can hurt the boss?
Yeah.
All right, I can't hurt him anymore. What do I do next?
Yeah, and because we've learned now that if you just stick close to Irene, she's going to throw up a protective bubble at some point. I was just like, Irene, where are you? Or I'm making sure that I'm not going to be too far from you.
And that's right. I followed Irene for the whole fight. Yeah.
Which is exactly what you're supposed to do.
I mean, the Living World fights are supposed to be difficult. It's just like, we always wanted a big bad fight with an Elder Dragon, right? And we got that in episode 5. But I like how our big bad fight with the Elder Dragon ended in failure. And then for our victorious fight with the Elder Dragon, we get another Heart of Thorns, not really a dragon fight, right? Like, because that's what everybody complained about with Heart of Thorns. They're like, wow, that was better than Zaitan, but it sucked.
Yeah, we got to Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
And then this was kind of the same thing. I was like, that wasn't very interesting for a finale fight.
Return my blood to me, i.e. spear me through the heart, okay?
But it's like what I said. This wasn't about the fight. No. This was about the dialogue during the fight.
And I appreciated that. And like I said, that is the thing that I appreciated the most. So for that, 10 out of 10. But I was expecting this episode to last a bit longer. There were things that I think that that felt a bit too, like it happened too fast. And I felt like we had too much filler. Too
fast, too convenient, no real sense of danger in any capacity.
It felt like a Final Fantasy story.
Like, one thing I'll say for the episode 5 battle, that shit was intense. Yeah. Like, I played episode 5 for the first time, I was like, are we gonna win? Like, I didn't know. I didn't know whether we were or not. I had no idea.
There was no doubt.
Whereas with this one, I'm flying on Irene. I'm like, all right, we're gonna kick Krokatorik's ass. And when we're flying down,
she's already blown off his wing for us.
Yeah. Exactly. When we're flying down his throat, like the Magic School Bus, that was a great reference, Josh. I was like, oh, we're gonna kick Krokatorik's ass. You know, there was no sense. They even say it before we go down his throat. They're like, oh, well, Irene's gonna go because she can't die.
Right.
Right? Yeah. That's so lame.
And the commander's like, she'll be fine, but and then Ritlock is all, shut up.
Also, did you notice that when it comes to leaving someone in charge of Dragon's Watch, we picked Ritlock of all fucking people?
I mean, he's a Tribune.
He's a moron.
He's a Tribune.
He's an actively unintelligent person.
Stop.
He's terrible.
You follow him into battle.
His solution to everything
is kill the shit.
Is kill stuff.
He's a char.
He has no sense of nuance whatsoever.
No, he's a char of the Legion. What did you expect?
I don't know. I think pretty much anybody else in that guild, even Timey, would be a better candidate for leader than Ritlock Brimstone.
No.
Timey. Yeah, don't pick Timey.
Don't pick Timey.
She's going to be dead in 2 episodes.
Inks would quit the game. He'd uninstall.
I wouldn't quit the game. It's just... we're not going to die, right? They already faked us out with that in Path of Fire. Like, they can't do that again. So we're pretty much perma alive. So, whatever. But yeah, I thought it was just... There was no sense of urgency in this episode.
The end of this chapter... story step, which was called Descent.
Mm-hmm. More horizontal, really, not much for Descent.
Mm-hmm. Was that beautiful cinematic? Because it was beautiful.
It's a wild cinematic.
It was beautiful.
I have a whole bunch of questions about it.
I loved the fact that we had a moment. Our character had a moment with Aurene, and it just was beautiful. And then the
did you hammer the screenshot button?
I can't remember if I did or not. I may have.
I was hammering the screenshot button.
I may have done. I can't remember. It was 3 a.m. at this point, so you're not getting much memory out of that.
The RPer inside me took control of my hand. I couldn't help myself.
I liked that when she did basically ascend and become an elder dragon, that she had that glint-esque look to her. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, she looks very cool as an elder dragon. But I have questions.
Yeah. Did you hear Krokatorrik call out for his mother at one point?
I did. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either. Although I find it slightly amusing that he called out for Mummy. But
who is the? I guess whoever was the elder dragon before him, right?
I guess. Which was an interesting, I thought, connection point with Vlast, who is because I'm kind of mother obsessed as well.
And Vlast, talk about a wasted story thread. Whew.
I liked finding out about Vlast's story through the crystals. I thought that was cool. I did.
I just didn't like that Vlast died the moment we met him.
Yeah, that sucked. Yeah. But I think the crystals kind of made up somewhat for that.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so we got the cinematic at the end, which was beautiful. She ascends, and then we get the epilogue, which is where we talk to NPCs. And this is typical ArenaNet. End of a Guild Wars campaign, you go and you talk to different NPCs. We've seen it before.
And Rox is not there.
Rox is
in the cutscene. I looked at the screenshots. Not on the boat.
She's in the cutscene. Okay.
Yeah, I checked.
Was Canuck in the cutscene?
Canuck is not in the cutscene.
Because Canuck was in the first step. Didn't say anything, I think, but he was.
He's in the first step, and he's at one of the camps in Dragonfall, I think.
Is he voiced?
Maybe not.
Is he voiced in the open world?
I don't remember, but he's definitely not in the final instance at all.
Rox's voice sounded different to me in this episode.
She got recast in episode 2.
Okay.
And I don't think they recasted her again, though.
Okay. Well, it may just be that I haven't heard her voice in a while since she
But-
doesn't really.
So one thing I thought was weird is because I watched that cutscene and I didn't notice that Rox was in it, and then we are on the boat after, and you walk up to Bram.
Mm-hmm.
What you say to him is, "Wow, you must be proud of how Rox fought today."
Yeah.
And that was such a weird thing to say. I was like, "Wait, did Rox die?" Like, "Did she die?"
There was that, and then there was when you talk to Logan and Ritlock, and they have a moment. They have their bromance moment, and they mention Gwen, who is apparently on the map.
She's in Melanger's
okay.
domain waypoint camp. Yeah, or Ghost.
So I thought that was interesting. So they're making these references to things that are happening on the map, which is great. But if you haven't played through the map or the meta, because you've been trying to play the story for your podcast, I was like, okay, so I guess I'll be running into that.
I need to watch the hour-long Wooden Potatoes.
Oh, I've been avoided everything this week.
Because I didn't really dive into any of the... Like, I didn't listen to all the NPC dialogue or anything. I kind of rely on Wooden Potatoes to tell me about all that. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure I'm sure he knows why Gwen is there and what she's doing and stuff.
I mean, well, she shows up at the end of episode 5 before we go in to kill Krakatorrik.
Yes, she does.
She's our messenger from the mists. And it's
yeah. Cool. Yeah, and she's unnamed. And I was like, because I remember that because I remember playing it, and I was like, I recognize that model, but she's not named in.
Well, and she shows up in Hall of Chains as well, the Wing 5. She's in the Underworld as well. So
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Well, next time we go in, I'll show you. But so it's interesting that we've got these moments where Gwen is kind of showing up, and I kind of go, "Why are we seeing a ghost from Guild Wars?" And who is mother? So I've got questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she's Logan's great grandmother or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so I didn't notice anything particularly poignant in the epilogue dialogues.
Other than Bram telling you that he loves you too.
Yeah, that was funny.
He was drunk. I thought that was really
Did you talk to Saida? Most pointless conversation in the entire game. Yeah. Like literally, it didn't matter.
It was the end. It was an epilogue from an end of a Guild Wars campaign. You get useful dialogue, and you get some not so useful.
Did you read the book at the bottom of the ship?
Oh,
I didn't either. I learned about it from Kit the Traveler. She was like, "Did you read it?" And I was like, "I didn't even know
there was a book."
Yeah, I didn't even know it was there. I was
standing around on the ship until I finally got kicked from the instance. The game kicked me out and put me in Lion's Arch. So the next time I looked up at my screen, I don't know what I was doing. I think I was talking to people about the episode and complaining about what did I just play.
Well, and
why is that thing so short?
Truthfully, I couldn't wait to get out of the instance and start exploring and farming the new map, so I didn't look around really.
So that feels like almost a good segue, but continue. I don't want to cut you off.
Well, I have questions. Like, did this ending leave you with questions? Left me with questions.
I mean, they keep talking about like, will we ever see Aurene again? Yes, I'm sure she'll come back. So, we're gonna have more interactions with her at some point, I think.
So everybody seems to be like, oh, everything's cool now.
No,
right?
Everything's not cool now.
Solved it. Everything's fine. What dictates that Aurene is now any different than Krakatorrik?
Other than the fact that she's bonded with us?
Sure.
Like
but and I know in the instance where you're killing Krakatorrik's torment, he's like, "You're different than me," right? Yeah. They emphasize that a lot, that she's not him.
Right.
Sure. But Elder Dragons exist to serve a cycle.
Yes.
That is beyond their control. As entities, consuming magic is what they do.
It's what they do because they just release the magic. Because this is a thing that was explored in, I want to say it was Path of Fire, when we went into the city where Vlast was
raised. We never get any resolution on it.
We got no, but they mentioned there that that Glint's prophecy or Glint's legacy is to have a dragon that can regulate magic in a way that doesn't destroy the world.
But what is that? Like, I feel like that question isn't answered.
I think what it is that the dragon who is under Glint's legacy, I guess, influence, which was now Aurene, would be able to release magic into the world while conscious, not just asleep, as the other dragons do.
So, like,
and consume it only if it becomes excessive.
So, like, alternating current versus direct current electricity.
Okay, sure. That yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, Aurene is Nikola Tesla, and Kralkatorrik is Thomas Edison.
I mean, if that works for you, yes. I mean, yeah, that's kind of it. It's whereas the other elder dragons don't use their off switch, I guess, in a conscious way.
See, and I
can because she's different.
I feel, because I didn't remember that about Kesho at all. I feel like it would have been nice if they had reiterated that point somewhere in this season, because that's huge. To me, that's huge.
Sure.
This has all been about resolving what the Elder Dragons do to Tyria, and I don't feel like they emphasize the solution to that enough coming up to this.
The thing that the commander, and in her dialogue with Timey especially, where Timey says, we've got to, our whole understanding of the dragons is changed now.
We also still have
her thesis or whatever.
We also still have a deep sea dragon to deal with, but I guess now that Aurene is a thing, we just free to kill the deep sea dragon. What if Aurene kills the deep sea dragon herself, like just bitch smacks him right out of the sea, and then we can just move on to Cantha? Well, we don't even have to deal with
the thing is that we don't know if the deep sea dragon is a uncontrollable deep sea dragon in the same way that Primordius and GuildMag and Kralkatorrik were.
I think we're driven to believe that he is malignant because he's driven the Quaggan out of the deep sea.
Okay. And the Karka.
Yes.
However, if we remember from our factions days, Guild Wars factions, right? Our friendly dragons from Cantha. The
salt spray dragons.
Yeah, whose names are escape me at this moment, but you probably
no, they're called salt spray dragons.
But the one that we had interactions, I think, with one or two directly. Kunavang, yes. Can we get Kunavang, who is kind of friendly, to replace in the same way that Aurene has?
Is that really a story you want to go through, though?
I mean, I think the implication is that we may, because it's all well and good that Aurene has replaced Kralkatorrik as an Elder Dragon. That's all well and good. But we still have 2 that we killed.
3 left.
But
2 are in stasis.
2 are in stasis, but we've killed. We still have that imbalance, I think, because Mordramoth and Zaitan are dead.
Yeah, but I think they're just going to be like, Aurene can do it by herself, and we don't need the other ones anymore.
If that's the case, and this is still Guild Wars 2, which is a story about dragons, what are we doing in Season 5?
I don't think it needs to be about dragons anymore. People are always like, Guild Wars 2 is about dragons. And I'm like...
This is ArenaNet saying that the Guild Wars 2 is about dragons.
Dude, ArenaNet doesn't know anything.
It's their game. They better know something.
Like, it's about Tyria. Like, the franchise is about Tyria. Like, and I think the story can go anywhere that has compelling storytelling in Tyria. I don't know. Maybe
says I'm good and I would drive the Quaggan out as well. I think we're done with dragons. Okay.
But we didn't know some resolution has to come from the deep sea dragon. Something like
I mean, we've
they have to resolve that somehow.
The text in the epilogue, which was another ArenaNet and you're memeing trolling, was literally right off into the sunset. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I went, that's our quest, right off into the sunset. We're flying off on this ship and talking to our friends. We're riding off into the sunset as we head back to Lion's Arch.
Until Season 5 starts and you get a phone call from Timey. You're halfway into the sunset and you hear, Commander!
Except we can't get a phone call because she's on the damn ship with us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll get a phone call from someone. Maybe from Kanako Rocks, who haven't been talking to us.
But, like, I don't, like, I would say that I don't think they would just say Aurene killed the deep sea dragon. But we don't, they did my boy, not Mordremoth, Jormag dirty off screen. Didn't even see it. Like, they just said,
they put him back Jormag into stasis?
Yeah, in season 3.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if they do Steve off screen as well and we never even see him?
I mean, it could happen. But we know season 5 is coming, so I want to know what they're going to do in season 5. I don't think we're going to get away from the dragons. I honestly don't.
They're absolutely going to address the deep sea dragon. They have to, right? Chat saying season 5 will start by Gort calling you up and asking if you're ready for more time gates. Hopefully by then I will be. Hopefully by then I will be ready. Yeah, I think they'll do it with the deep sea dragon for season 5. I don't know if it'll be all of season 5.
I mean, talking about the chat is bringing up characters that were missing from season 4. Casimir and Jory being the two most obvious. Since they have been cycling through the cast of characters that's going to be most in focus, I wouldn't be surprised if we get Marjorie and Casimir back and we see
Cantha's human focus.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense to bring the humans along, maybe ditch the Char, right? They'll just be like, hey, they're super racist in Cantha, maybe let's not bring the Char there.
Like might just say, kill them all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just that kind of stupidity we don't need over there, right? But there's a whole issue. Like, Cantha's in the same situation that Alona was in. They're under tyrannical rule, right? They have a really...
Ritlock was wielding Sahothin, right? I didn't pay attention, but I think
he... Because he left it behind
in the story, yeah.
But he left it with our boy Logan.
Right, who would have given it back to him.
So I assume... I didn't check if he was wielding it. I should have. Yeah, I should have.
I think I saw it on his... I think I saw it sheathed in the epilogue. But it was 3 a.m, so fuzzy details.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I think season 5 could be leading towards Cantha. The big problem with Cantha, right? We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but the big problem with Cantha is that NCSoft doesn't like it, right? Because they feel it culturally appropriates. So they'd have to reconcile some design choices from GuildMag.
And I think that they could reconcile those choices.
If you put enough dollar signs in front of their face.
They've got a Chinese client. You know, you've got players from Asia who I think would be interested in playing.
I don't think, yeah.
They could do what they did for Alona. I mean, they could do what they did for Alona and give some of the cultural flavor in through character design. Mm-hmm. You can do things that are culturally sensitive in architectural design, map design. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to go back to Cantha, so I think if we don't, and it is the third freaking continent in the damn franchise's universe, so how can you avoid it?
Although I will say, you could say that we're not going back to Cantha because in Mike Z's going forward post, he was like, we're actually going to start reusing current maps more than making new ones.
I mean, for me, I think Cantha makes better sense for an expansion rather than a living world season.
And they could use season 5 to transition us towards an expansion. But yeah, what Mike Z said was we're going to start using current maps. So that kind of gives away that they're not intending to go to Cantha. So I guess I just ruined my own theory. But,
Which begs the question, what are we doing in season 5?
Chat is
Are we going to go up north? Could we go up north?
I don't know. They've invented so many nonsense excuses to go to X, Y, and Z location. It doesn't matter. Like, it's unspeculatable.
We freaking had Bram crack the tooth of Jormag, and they did nothing with it.
Nothing came of that. Yeah. Yeah, you guys remember when Bram did that legendary thing that we've been waiting the whole game for?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nah.
Nothing.
I was expecting him to say something, even in his drunk state, at the end of this epilogue about his mother not being there to kill off Kralkatork. Of course, he didn't jump down the throat of a dragon with us either and told us off for it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like you said, where could we be going next? I don't know. They write in whatever nonsense excuse they need to go to whatever location.
Yeah,
It's it's unspeculatable.
The thing with the end of this season, like season 1, we knew we knew we'd be dealing with something to do with the awakening of a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, we knew we were going into Heart of Thorns. End of season 2. Got Heart of Thorns. Season 3, we knew we were going. Huh?
Did we know that?
The end of season 2, the epic cutscene that we got at the end of season 2.
I thought you meant throughout season 2. We knew that Heart of Thorns was coming.
The end. Sorry, I'm talking the end of episodes, end of
right.
Seasons. So then we got Heart of Thorns, and then we got season 3, and we knew at the end of season 3 we were going into Path of Fire because we got another cutscene. Path of Fire season 4, we got I don't know where we're going, guys. We got an epilogue and no cuts and a beautiful cutscene for Aurene, but nothing to do with the future of the story.
Yeah, so I mean,
interesting choice, interesting narrative choice there.
Yeah, if you're not going to, maybe season 5 is dealing with Deep Sea Dragon, then expansion is Cantha.
I don't know. We're going back to Lion's Arch, so if that's the hint, we're going back to Lion's Arch, and we're doing something with Lion's Arch, and like you said, the existing maps. We didn't really get much of what we're doing.
I've solved it. They're reusing existing maps because we've got Invasion Current Events 4.0 coming down the pipe. Deep Sea Dragon Invasion events, guys. Every map, every 15 minutes, a new map is invaded. Free chant farm. I've solved it. I've solved season 5.
He's gonna flood all the maps. He's a deep sea dragon, right? So he's gonna be dealing with water.
He's just gonna send tsunamis. It's just gonna leave crates strewn across Tyria.
God, no, please, no crates. Lion's Arch gets destroyed again, Dio. I would pay money for that.
Would you? Do you not? You don't like New LA, do you?
New LA. I like that they've changed the traffic flow of it, which was one of the big complaints of old LA. But SeaWorld isn't it's Final Fantasy 14, that map.
I don't like the nautical theme. I won't lie to you. I do like the nice stone whitewash. I like that. I don't like the big lobster. That's stupid. I don't like the giant starfish. That's ridiculous. Yeah. That's really dumb.
I would like to see something with the consortium. I could be down for what are we doing with these dudes?
I mean, at this point, we're just tossing ideas out there. Hey, what about the consortium? Hey, what about...
Look at all of these threads, that they've got dangling out there. We have no idea who E is still.
What about E? Don't even talk about E. Oh my god.
I went there.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That was the story, guys.
That was the story. We got Aurene back. She's now an Elder Dragon. We found out that dragons can hurt and be in pain.
Mm-hmm. And we've still got a Deep Sea Dragon to deal with.
And we've got this epically cool Dragonfall map, which you're going to tell us about.
I really like this map. What did you think of it?
What I've seen of it so far, I like.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I like the verticality of it. When I first got to the map and looked over the edge of the packed ship and looked down, I went, oh, this reminds me of Bitterfrost, Bloodstone Fen.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be vertical. This is going to be cool. I like the fact that they've done the thing that so many players have asked for in bringing back old masteries that we've earned all the way along and have given them a place again in a map. And that we're able to use them. So we were seeing the bouncing mushrooms. We're seeing the spider web Okart essence things. Spider-Man flingy thingy. Web sling. That's the best thing, man. I love that. It was the one thing of Draconis Mons that saved it for me was, being able to web sling.
I actually really like Draconis Mons, and I've been through the PTSD of Aurora already. And I came out the other side.
And now you say that you like
Draconis Mons is a good map. It's a good map.
This is big. This is huge, guys, what he's saying right now, because when that map came out, he hated it.
I did not like it. The thing is, I don't like being confused.
Yes.
It was a very like Tangled Depths like confusing map when it first came out. But Aurora made me learn it like by heart, right? Yeah. So now I'm fine with it. I can go anywhere I want.
Yeah, the thermal tubes are back on this map, the new map as well.
Yeah, and I have heard the thermal tubes are the best way to get around on this new map.
Okay, that's good to know because they were the best way to get around. One of the best ways to get around Draconis Mons as well. And
yeah. So this is like a candidate for like my favorite map in the whole game. This new map, Dragonfall. And the reason is that it brings back the Burning Forest from Fissure of Woe, which I quite liked Fissure of Woe in Guild Wars 1. And it brings back Underworld. Guys, I lived in Underworld in Guild Wars 1. Underworld was my Guild Wars 1 Silver Waste. So, like, that was the defining area for me.
That area of that map, that shit starts to kill you everywhere, man.
Yeah. And they recreated the Underworld aesthetic perfectly in Guild Wars 2. The Burning Forest is very well done as well. I didn't do as much Fissure of Woe as I did Underworld, but it's very well done as well. And just like going in the Underworld area and hanging out, I'm just like, I'm back. Like I'm standing there and I'm just like, I'm back. It's great. It's great. It's truly like a happy moment for me. So, and the mobs are hard too. The mobs are really difficult.
Like they'll wreck you.
They'll kick your ass. Yeah. It's pretty cool. The Shadow Army is not to be screwed with. And they recreated the Shadow Army really well as well. So the Shadow Army were enemies in Fissure of Woe in Guild Wars 1. And we have them back in Guild Wars 2, which is so cool.
It really is.
So yeah, I'm super happy with the new map. And then we get to see the Realm of Melandru as well, which we never got to see in the franchise before.
Yeah.
And it looks really good. Like it looks super good.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it you saw, but it looks
I've seen a fair bit of I've seen more of the Underworld section and the Melandru section than I have. I've run into the Burning Forest area, which also remember that one area up in Eye of the North that was a Burning Forest as well.
Sacknoth Valley. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah, so I was like, oh, this feels familiar, even though I know it's the wrong place, but it feels
that's
familiar.
Stupid Jin boss in it. I hate that guy. Blister Bark. Yeah, I really like the Melandru area. The lighting effects in it are really good. There are a lot of new assets on. I think there are new assets on display, if I'm not mistaken, in it. It might just be Maguma assets reused, but I think there are some new assets in there.
Yeah, I mean, I know the statue is basically taken from Divinity's Reach, it looks like.
The statue, yeah, and then the Grenth and Balthazar statues are taken from Ore. But it's still really cool. Like, it's still just really cool. So I'm really happy to just exist on that map. The rewards are really good from the meta. I don't know if you got to do the meta.
I haven't done the meta yet. I haven't done the champ train that's down there now. I know you were saying that it's probably as lucrative as Silver Waste, if not more, maybe?
If you fully monetize your time there and you optimize your time there, I think it's better than Silver Waste right now, if I'm not mistaken. You can get...
Is that doing the meta as well, or just the champ form?
So the meta works like Silver Waste. This isn't a timered meta. This is a meta you progress. And when you finish it, you can start progressing it all over again.
Good.
And then in the downtime after you've finished the meta, which is defeating Krokotork, like, you don't really fight Krokotork, you, like, fight his minions. But afterwards, in the time that in Silver Waste would otherwise be chest farm, you champ farm. So there's a bunch of champ spawns that pop up after the meta's finished, and each of them spawns 3 chests that you can get rare gear out of, along with volatile magic and map currency and like, good stuff. And there's a lot of them. There's like 20 or 25 of these champs that spawn afterwards.
Yeah,
so
I saw a guide that popped up on Reddit today. I think I linked it to you.
Yeah, and you can just go and run through all of these, and you get a bunch of keys for the chests from the events you do leading up to the meta. Then you can spend them all afterwards. It's really nice. You get, I mean, if you do this optimally, you could get 75 rare gears in one event. Yeah, it's great. And then you get a lot of champ bags as well. Not as much champ bags as Silver Waste, but the rare gear you get and the volatile magic you get, that total value wise, closes that gap. I think it's definitely a competitive gold farm. It's absolutely a competitive gold farm. It's really nice.
They don't nerf it, because I think that we need something else.
They will nerf it. They will nerf it.
Yeah.
I don't know how heavily they'll nerf it, but it has completely destroyed the economy around Ectos and rare gears. Ectos, I think, are like 12 or 13 silver right now. Rare gear is 14.
Rare gear was kind of hovering around that 14.
Rare gear was
mark.
up to 19 silver before this, and then Ectos were, I think, in the 19 area as well. So they've crashed hard.
I would say crashed hard would be down to like 5.
I mean, they've never gotten that low, though. Like, within the context of
they've gone down. I think that the market has gotten flooded for sure.
They haven't been bad since it stand. And as people figure out, this is the thing, we aren't even farming this efficiently yet.
No.
As people figure out how to farm this efficiently, that price will continue to go down. So yeah, they have to nerf it in some capacity to get the Ecto economy back. So like chat says, save your Ectos, because the price will go back up probably soon. But I think they'll probably keep it competitive. I don't think they want.
Or if you want to start investing in Ectos, you can start buying them off the TP now.
Honestly, yes. Yeah. If you want to invest in Ectos, yeah, this would probably be a good time. I'm not an economy master, but this one's like super obvious, right? So, but yeah, I think they'll keep it competitive. I just, because they let Istan be around for like a year, they obviously nerfed Istan in anticipation for this, right?
Yeah.
So since they let Istan be around so long, I don't think they will nerf this one into the dirt. I think they'll let this be a thing, at least for a while. So yeah, we now have 2 competitive PvE gold farms in the game again, which I like. And they're both repeatable, so you don't have to multi-instance these. You can just tag up on a map and run it as many cycles as you want, which is awesome. Because I hate having to multi-map. It's so complicated, and it makes your total profit for the evening fluctuate so much on any given day. So when I can just run things in a cycle, that's what I like. So yeah, now you can, if you're a gold farmer like me, you have 2 farms to bounce between again, which was what made 2018 so awesome.
Transfer you ahead.
Yeah.
The things that I've run into, there are nodes that give you called mist motes.
Yeah.
And that gives you a crafting material currency thing, I think.
It's a map currency. Yeah, it's the map currency for this.
Depositable in your storage.
I'm not really
sure. Sparks and all of that crap, right?
I'm not really sure what it's for right now. I assume Skyscale stuff. Coalescence.
I don't know.
Yeah, I should probably get a stack of it. Like, I'm saving, because I have at least a stack of all my Season 4 map currencies, right? I'm thinking of liquidating my excess stacks. But you're right, Coalescence or Skyscale. I'm not sure how much map currency the Skyscale requires, so I'm probably going to keep it around for a while. That being said, so you haven't started your Skyscale collection at all?
No, I got the in-game mail from Goric saying, come and help me, which I am assuming is the start of the collection. So I have to go talk to him, but I have 3 in the morning, or 3:30 at that time.
Gotcha. So I have done, so there's a million collections for this, first and foremost. So just prepare yourselves for that, guys. And I don't know how they go together very well. It's so complicated that I can't even begin to describe this to you.
I know I've seen people linking different Reddit threads that had parts of different collections in it. So I don't know how many are actually out there, since again I've been avoiding a lot of the spoiler stuff this week, since I hadn't been able to play until the end of the week.
I mean, it's just time gates and scavenger hunts. It's not.
Yeah, the scavenger hunts is something that I got. The time gates, I know that there's the grow lamp and the
Skyscale food.
and the
Yeah.
Skyscale food.
So you need the charge cords to make the Skyscale food and the grow lamp.
So it's kind of like when you were making Maudry, it sounds like, because they've reused the grow lamp.
But you can buy all those on the trading post, so those aren't really time gated, in my opinion. There is a hard time gate on feeding your Skyscale the food that you buy, though. You buy or craft. You can only feed it so much per day, and you need to feed it up to a total amount, right?
Okay.
So that's...
I got a message just now that it's 7 days minimum to get the Skyscale.
I've heard someone say 4. I've heard someone say 5. I've heard someone say 22. I've now heard someone say 7.
I'm gonna trust this one. I'm gonna trust this one because this is coming from an ArenaNet partner.
I'm just saying. I've heard people. Yeah, Josh. I've heard 4, 7, 8. Yeah, I've heard every number.
I get it. Yeah. No, I understand. There's a lot of conflicting information out there.
I don't think anybody knows how long this thing takes to get right now. Because every time someone completes a collection, oh, there's another collection. Wow. Right. So it's just kind of an endless collection string right now. So I'm just gonna start it and do it. Time gate. All right, we'll do it more tomorrow. Time gate. All right, we'll do it more tomorrow. Like. I don't like time gates. I've ranted about them on this show before.
You've ranted them on Twitter, I think, this week. I think I saw some tweets going out.
I'm exhausted trying to explain to people what's wrong with time gates. Apparently, there are people out there who are content to, like, have them. I don't know how else I can say it at this point. But yeah, I'm not a fan of time gates, but I'll just deal with it, right? I'll deal with it. Like, I'm not going to not get it, so I'll just deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do plan on getting the Skyscale. Got to have max masteries, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not super worried about it. I'll just do other stuff while I wait for my time gate recharge.
That's it. I think the thing with time gates is that if you have other things to do, you at least have other things to do. And while I don't necessarily like things that are time gated, I can always find something else to fill my time in between.
I mean, and I can too. I have, like, if anything, you can farm gold, right? If, like, you can never have enough gold. So that's, like, my primary gameplay loop anyway. It's just, I'm not a fan. And there are very clear things wrong with that method of gating progression. If it doesn't bother you, that's fine, right? But I feel like there's a difference between it not bothering you and trying to actively deny that it's a problem, right? But like I said, I don't like them, but I'll do it. I mean, I made freaking Aurora, right? Like,
you did make Aurora. I haven't
done
that yet. I did the Wayfarer's Henge and got PTSD, and so I haven't gone back to complete Aurora.
Yeah, after that, nothing can phase me unless it's longer. The only way it can phase me if it's longer. So we'll find out.
It seems like, what is it? It's you feed it one time a day, or 3? Is it 3? What
I don't know.
I don't know.
Nobody knows. Like, there's not enough information out there on it yet.
I saw that Shaman had said that there's like 200 and some odd, almost 250 unlocks for this thing that he's data mined apparently.
Just got to start doing it. There's nothing else for it but to start doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling myself. Every time I start to, like, get angry about the time getting here, I'm just like, just do it. Like, just sit down and do it.
Yeah. So,
that's
like,
it.
So last show you had said it needs to be hard, it needs to be prestige, it needs to be a gold sink, it needs to be hard. And so now it's this time gating hard thing or semi-hard thing.
So I will say, coming into this mount, I mean, I would say I was the only one. I don't know if anybody else was onto this, but I said, and I said on the show, I said I think this should be a prestige mount.
You did.
Right. And everybody else was like, no, it needs to be a handout like the other mounts. And it turns out it's more in the direction of a prestige mount.
Yeah. You wanted a legendary trinket, right?
I did, and that didn't
got
happen.
A legendary mount instead.
Yeah, this is kind of the way this is set up is similar to Aurora in that it's just collection after collection after collection after collection, right? I don't like how they've done it, but I will say, and you know how much I don't like time gating, but I will say I like this better than if it were just free, like the Beetle. I prefer there to be at least something that you need to heavily invest in to get the thing. And my reasoning behind it was, it's the Living World finale, right? It's another flying costs in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
Per the Griffin, right? And it's a dragon, which is kind of cool. It doesn't really matter, they basically have made it a prestige mount. They've just done it in a different way than the Griffin. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it.
The lore thing that they brought in about it via the voice of Aurene was that it was a new species.
Closely related to dragons, not technically dragons, is what Gork says.
Like wyverns is what I think Aurene said.
Yeah. They're technically not dragons.
Which I went, tell me more.
Right, yeah.
Because then Timey had a little excitement moment freaking out over the comms, which she didn't explain, and I kind of went, why are you freaking out?
I thought she was freaking out because Goric was like, well, in your thesis, and she was like, you read my thesis? And he was like, of course. And she was like, ah!
Well, yeah, she did that too, but then she was first freaking out about the Skyscales themselves. It was 2 a.m. at this point, so...
Okay, I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't remember much of it.
Yeah.
Chat says the time gating feels more like you're actually raising your Skyscale. I don't care.
I mean,
I don't care about
that's not a
actually.
bad comparison, because if you think about other games that have mounts, they make you go through this process of raising your little egg, and I get it.
I don't care.
I
don't care about raising.
I got my Chocobo. I raised it from an egg, and probably if I logged back into Final Fantasy 14, I could go do more stuff with it to make it all more souped up, powerful, whatever. It's okay. I don't know. I've got other mounts to ride, and in the meantime, while I get this Skyscale, however long it takes, a week or 7 years, please don't let it be 7 years. I think, I can get around the world. The thing with mounts in this game is that you don't actually need them most of the time. You can do the game without actually having mounts to play the content of the game. You can also
do the game in green gear.
I agree. Yes. I mean, it makes it a lot easier, a lot more convenient to have the mounts.
The need talking points bothers me in an MMO, because I know it sounds elitist, and and I hate to use this word, but a lot of more casual players, and you're like a raider, so I know that you're not in that category, but a lot of people use this argument to justify X, Y, and Z. Oh, you don't need it. But in an MMO, I'm sorry, but you need best in slot in an MMO. You do. You need it.
If you're going to do a grind gear treadmill.
If you're not going to be a complete nub, you need best in slot.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. If you don't have a Skyscale next month, you are a nub.
No, because you said it yourself. I have no need for this mount.
I don't, but I'm gonna get it.
You're gonna get it so that you can get the 295 by your nameplate.
Exactly.
But
if you don't have the 295,
you don't
have a
need
295 by your nameplate, you're
you
nub.
want the Skyscale to give yourself that prestige. Oh, look at what I've done. But in terms of actually completing game content, which is where I'm talking about for need, you don't need the Skyscale.
It's like I said, you also don't need Ascended gear. You don't need exotic gear. You don't even need rare gear. You could kill Kralkatorrik in green gear.
It would take you a lot longer.
It would. What I'm saying is to be relevant in any sort of way.
If you want to play end-game content.
Yeah, you need it. If it's there, you need it. This is an MMO. You need it. You do. I know a lot of people call me an elitist for that.
No, I don't think it's an elitism thing. I don't, honestly.
Like, I'm not even an elite player. Like, I've seen elite players. I'm not one of them. Like, trust me, I've met some of these people. They're lunatics, right? I'm not one.
Just kidding.
But
The mount doesn't get you from content. It doesn't.
No, but like saying you don't need it, so the acquisition method is irrelevant.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that the acquisition method was irrelevant. What I'm saying is that if you really want the mount because you feel like it's going to make your gameplay experience better, then I can say, okay, fine, you need it. But we have these other mounts. We have these other masteries that can help us traverse maps. Because until we had mounts, until Path of Fire, we didn't have mounts in this game. And we got around.
Can you imagine meeting someone who didn't have mounts?
Yeah, I play on an account that doesn't have. Well, no, that's not true. I have a Raptor now.
It's not your main account, though.
No, it's not. It's an alt account, but I can run around. Running is still a thing in this game, and I can get exotic gear or ascended gear if I wanted to make my gameplay experience better.
But you'd be a nub.
No.
Yes. I'm sorry, if you don't have mounts and you are not at least an exotic gear, you are a fucking nub.
No.
I'm sorry, guys.
You don't need mounts to play this game. You do not need mounts to play this game. You might not need exotic gear to play this game and be more effective. But you don't need... The mounts do what for you? Engage? To get you dismounted? To traverse the land? You could fucking run. Sorry.
They're very fast.
They are faster than running on foot. I will agree with you there. You may need now the War Claw in World versus World because everyone else has it, and it might make your life a little bit easier to try and escape.
I'm just saying, in an MMO, the idea is to get the thing, right? And if you are actively not getting the thing, I don't know why you're playing an MMO. That's all I'm saying.
But it doesn't define whether or not you are a quote-unquote nub. It's what do you want to do in the MMO? I think that is where we're having this disagreement on.
Come on, no mounts and rare gear, you're a nub. Like, I'm sorry. No mounts and rare gear, you're a nub.
When we had no mounts in this game, you were fine.
I was, but now we do have mounts.
Now you're like, oh my god, we have to have the mounts. It's not because you need the mount, it's because you want the mount. There's a difference.
I would say that the game is fundamentally incomplete without mounts.
Is it really, though?
Yeah, because Path of Fire and Season 4 are now part of the game. So if you don't have mounts, you can't experience that content in a complete way.
You can still get around the Path of Fire mounts.
Can't map complete.
You might need them for something, but you could also get a Mesmer who has a mount to just portal you up.
That's ridiculous.
That's true, though.
I'm just like,
how many times have you gotten portaled up by a Mesmer to complete a jumping puzzle that you needed to finish for whatever reason?
3 times.
Okay, but you've done it 3 times.
2 Chalice of Tears, 1 Dragonfall Mons.
Because why? Because you didn't want to go through that pain and suffering.
Because I needed Aurora.
You needed Aurora to make your...
Needed it.
Let me stat select a little bit more easier. Okay.
No, I'm obviously poking. Like, I'm obviously just poking people. Like, you don't technically have to have mounts, right? Like, I know that. But at the same time, it's not a matter of need or want. It's relevant content. I think you can agree with that, right? Getting new mounts and having every mount is very relevant content to most people.
The completionist in me wants the mount because I just want the 295. I'm going to be honest. Am I going to use it? I don't know. I might use it. Do I need it to make my gameplay experience better? I don't know. Probably not.
Like, having a 295 will make my gameplay experience better. Let's just put it that way.
295 just looks nice and blingy.
I just can't wait for 300.
You got to wait till Season 5.
But I know. Don't remind me. But just because it's not a necessary item for existence in the game, I don't think that justifies implementing an acquisition method that has received largely negative feedback in the past. I would have thought that in a post Wayfarer's Henge world, they would have learned their lesson by now.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently we're sticking with this time gating thing, so.
The grindy time gating thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even about grind. I like grinding. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's all I do in the game.
I know.
It's all I do. I don't consider time gating grinding. Time gating is the game telling me that I cannot grind. Time gating is the antithesis of grinding.
Right, because it tells you can only do this thing once.
Yeah, because I log in and I'm like, all right, I'm down to grind this mount out. And the game literally tells me you can't do that.
Right.
Call me insane. I think that's a problem. Am I crazy, or is that a fundamental issue?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, with Wayfarer's Henge, with Aurora, and with this mount, that none of these things affect the economy.
This does. It affects grow lamps and
the grow lamp stuff, only because they worked that part in.
Grow lamps were 12 gold before this patch.
I know.
They're over 50 now.
Yeah.
And you know who made all the money off of those?
TP Barons.
Like 5 people.
I know.
Like there's probably plenty of players who were like, oh yeah, I had some charged quartz, so I made, a couple hundred gold. The majority, 90% of the total market on grow lamps was bought up by 5 people in the first hour of the patch, and they made all the money.
Or they had them ready, or they had the materials that they could craft them themselves. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
people with 30,000 liquid gold on their accounts. They're like, grow lamps, I'm buying them. Yep.
I had a question or a point, and I've just lost it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no. The thing when we were talking about this in the pre-show or right before we went on air, that things like gating the ascended, so 2 ascended components or 3 ascended components that go into crafting ascended materials for weapons or armor or whatever. They timegate that. It annoys the crap out of me, but they timegate it. And I can understand that because it directly affects the economy. They could have. I don't know what they could have done, but could they have done something? Maybe that's my question. What could they have done to implement these parts that you can buy up on the trading post? Could they have made the grow lamps account bound? Because I don't think I even realized that they weren't account bound until now.
Here's the thing: I don't have a problem with time gating when I can circumvent it on the trading post. It doesn't bother me. I don't like that it jacks up the price on things, but the number one thing that it does do that I appreciate is it prevents massive inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Like them time gating ascended materials is a very good choice, because otherwise we would just have a giant worthless market on our hands, right? The time gating that I have an issue with is okay, you got here in the collection, you have to wait until tomorrow to get this next box in the collection. That's what I hate. I don't know what else you could do because economically things are going to stagnate unless you take hard control of them, right? It's just going to happen.
I think, and one of the things that I pulled up a Spidey to look at the chart on the grow lamp. They're currently sell price 33 gold, buy price 25. They spiked up as high as it looks like
100. I want to say
100 maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad I waited a few days.
Yeah, I mean, so the price is coming down, and
before you say like, oh, you waited a few days, you might as well have time gated yourself, right? Like, that's one of my fundamental issues with time gating is nothing is stopping you from waiting if you want to wait.
Sure.
If you want to do something incrementally, there is nothing stopping you from doing that. Like, the people who are going to do that don't need a time gate to make them do it. The only people affected by a time gate are people who would otherwise be playing the game in that area. It only negatively affects the player base, apart from people who profit off of the back of it economically. And I don't think that justifies the practice. That's pretty much it.
It's a good thing he wasn't going to rant about time gating, guys. No, I'm kidding, Aaron.
I kept it. I feel like I kept it short. I feel like I kept it short.
And I think what you have to say is valid.
And there are people that don't mind, and if you don't mind, that's fine.
Great. Yeah.
I don't care if you don't mind. What bothers me is when people actively try to tell me that it's good. That's what bothers me. When people are like, I like time gating. Why? Yeah. Sorry, I'm not going to get into it.
It's okay.
I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah. We'd be here all night is right, Josh. I know. Yeah, no, but I get it. I think,
yeah.
I mean, me personally, I probably won't be buying the parts off of the trading post. I'll have to see when I get to progressing these collections for the Skyscale, because like I said, I haven't started yet.
They'll probably even out in the 15 to 30 gold.
It'll probably, I'm sure it'll even out because everything usually does.
Like I said,
I can make my own grow lamps. I can charge my own quartz crystals, and if I'm gonna be,
you don't want to make your own grow lamps. Trust me.
I've done them before.
They take what, 10 days per grow lamp?
Remember.
You don't, just trust me. You don't want to.
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've had to.
Unless you have quartz saved up, in which case I would highly recommend it because you'll save a lot of money.
Here's what I want to do. I wanted to pull this up on the way. Yeah, this was a jeweler thing. I remember making it for, was it Madri?
Madri, yeah, these are for Madri.
Yeah. Bloodstone bricks, essence of luck, germinated foxfire clusters for the powerful Leotune, and so we just need a basic one. Is that it?
Yeah, but all the value is in the charge quartz. Charge quartz.
Or a calcum setting, a sunstone lump, and watchword sprockets. That's what it needs.
Sunstone lumps did spike to like 1 gold day one, I think, but they're back. Back down. They're back down to about 15 silver, so it's not a big deal.
Watchwork sprockets are still worth under a gold, under a silver. What am I even saying? 93 copper. Sunstone lumps are at, yeah, those are more expensive. You can promote these if you're a jeweler. Not because you can get the nuggets.
I don't know if it'd be entirely worth it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to do the math. Or
again, like all the costs.
Efficiency do the math for me.
Yeah, all the cost trading post wise is in the charge quartz. That's why it costs so much money. And
charge quartz crystals are account bound.
Yes, yeah, you could. But like these items are tradable. So people who had quartz saved up, like someone in chat said they had 100. Like those people made a bunch of money. Like I think Josh in chat made like 800 gold because he had like a stack of quartz saved up. Fair enough, right? That's fine. Like none of that bothers me. Even the people that market corner doesn't bother me that much. I just don't like the unavoidable time gate. That's all.
Yeah.
We can move past it.
We can move past this. It is a thing that we're unless they change it like they changed the mastery point system, not the mastery, the hero point unlock system for the
skill point system.
Skill points, yes, thank you. For elite specs, that they lowered it from, was it 400 or something down to 250 that we need now. Unless they could decide to change something, this is our reality. So
yeah, no, and
I
it's
don't
like
expect them to change it though, because they didn't change things
so
for Aurora, they didn't change things for Wayfarer's Henge, so.
And ultimately, it's what people are saying 7 days now. It's 7 days.
7 days. That's what I said.
I'll live, right? I can bitch about it, and I bitch about everything, right? It's fine, but I'll live. I'll do it. I'll get past it. Next month, I won't even be thinking about it anymore. Doesn't mean it's good. No. It doesn't mean I'm okay with it. It just means I'll move past it in a month.
Right. Yeah. So that's the Skyscale. We've talked about the map. We've talked about the episode. What else have we got to talk about, Aaron?
I think that was everything. I mean,
everything current?
Yeah, that's everything current. What did you overall? What, like, just a quick wrap up, like synopsis? What are your feelings on War Eternal as a patch?
Feel like map is good. The thing that we didn't talk about was the waypoint system, and the waypoints disappearing off the map unless the meta has been progressed.
It doesn't bother me as long as I can still go where I need to go on mount, which I can. So
One
I'm
thing I
not
do like is that if you progress things before the waypoint shows up, you can use shrines essentially as free waypoints.
They got the shrine system from that one ore map, and it's fine. I wish the shrines were easier to see on the map.
Yeah, the icons for the shrines are a little small,
and the color blends with the map.
So this is the amount of time that I spent in Siren's Landing. I did the episode and I did not do anything in that map.
Oh, free ascended necklaces to be had.
Oh, I did nothing in that map. I literally did nothing in that map.
Oh, yeah,
so I know I am like
Orient Pearls are free trinkets.
Yeah. I'm a blank canvas when it comes to, so I have like no knowledge of how that map works. I didn't even. Someone else had told me that the shrines, you can use them in that map as well for like teleports and whatnot. And I was like, really? I didn't know that was a thing. So yeah.
And chat does mention that not having a season 4 Aurora style trinket really killed it for them. I have to agree. I've been looking forward to that since midway through the season. I've been prepping for it since midway through the season, and like I've done every meta. I did everything I suspected might have the remotest chance of being involved. I did Dwarven Room for 20 plus days in a row. I did every Requiem armor set on launch week. And they didn't give me
if you want that legendary trinket, come raid.
I did the 7-day time gate for the IG back piece. I did Serpent's Ire. Serpent's Ire.
Yeah.
And there is no back piece.
Nope. None.
Get out of here,
Not a one. You've got your legendary prestige mount, and you can grind for it. Timegating.
I don't feel rewarded.
I know. Well,
But one thing about the map,
you will once you get the coalescence.
Chat says looking forward to something that was based on no information. It was based on Aurora, right? I think it would have made perfect sense.
I think the precedent that Aurora set is what people had been basing their speculation on and their preparation on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it would have been it was a fantastic way to cap off the season. Everybody loved it. And I don't think everybody loved making it, but everybody
I was going to say
everybody loved having it there.
Yes.
High-end players liked having that to make and go for. I think it was a massive misstep not to have one this season. Yes, I get that one time doesn't mean precedent, right? What I'm saying is, with the positive reaction to it, I think it's insane not to do it again.
Well, they gave it to you a different way in the Skyscale.
And just
so.
And I'm not the only one that was thinking this.
No, you aren't the only one. Yeah,
pretty much like Droyer did a tweet about it.
Yeah,
Age
a lot of people.
I'm not crazy for thinking that this might be a thing, But one thing I did want to mention about the map rewards is you can get a full set of ascended trinkets in this map
the new map
that have Harrier's stats on them.
Oh, that's interesting, because you could only get Harriers before from some of the Path of Fire Heart vendors.
Yeah, so this is now your best in slot farm for Harrier's stats.
That's good to know. Druids, pay attention.
Mm-hmm. And it's a much more farmable map. Sandswept Isles isn't bad. I actually like Sandswept Isles, but I think it's going to be you're going to have a better time of getting Harrier's stuff now. Mm-hmm.
So overall on this story,
the story,
patch, I should say,
I thought the wrapping up of the story was a little convenient. It made a lot of big leaps that I didn't like seeing, and overall kind of disappointing, honestly.
I thought it I was surprised at the shortness of it. that we only got 2 instances where typically I think we usually get 3 or 4. 3 or 4?
No, it's been consistently 2.
Has it really?
Yeah, for season 4 it has been. Season 3 was all over the place, but season 4 the formula is instance, open world instance.
I'll have to go back because this one just felt.
Well, it's because instance 1 you didn't even play the game. There's no gameplay in instance 1.
No, that's true. That's what it is. It was more like a dialogue instance.
Yeah.
It was like Air's memorial.
One thing I will say
Which
that
was
this patch has
which
going
was
for
just dialogue.
there's not a whole ton of ambient dialogue that I'm gonna have to sit through on all of my replays.
In the first one.
Like how quick this episode is, kind of nice for replays. The Crocatoric part's gonna suck, but overall, it's a very quick playthrough.
Why's the Crocatoric part gonna suck? Which one? The first one? The opening one?
The flying part, yeah.
The
it's awful.
one.
Yeah, it's awful.
Zaitan 2.0. Yeah, I felt like I was disappointed because I wanted, I guess, an epic finale. And I think we got that with episode 5 rather than 6. It's kind of how I felt after season 3, where I felt like if they had reversed episodes 5 and 6 in season 3, it would have been a better ending. A more exciting, epic ending. I don't know. But yeah, so...
I don't know that you could reverse these episodes.
No, I don't think that you could unless you had the Crocatoric fight be...
I think they threw a lot of... I think they beefed up Aureen's power level a lot without explaining that at all. Like maybe she got powered up by Crocatoric when he
and that's probably what happened.
Right, but I don't feel like that. And some neckbeard's going to come out and be like, "Oh, they're actually talking about it."
Why did we get her talking again? I mean, I'm great. I love that she's talking. It just why did that happen? How did that happen? What are we supposed to infer how that happened?
Yeah, there was a lot of just stuff that didn't have much of an explanation, and I'm a stickler for explanations. I like things making sense.
Well, I mean, in storytelling, you kind of need some things to be explicated. So,
yeah, chat. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Oh,
yes.
No. But yeah, I like explanations, and there wasn't much of it in this episode, so I think that bothered me the most. And then we also magic school bust our way down a dragon's throat. So I don't know, not a shining moment in narrative.
I don't know. So I think overall, I like the map. I like that we got the insight into the dragons feeling pain and suffering, so that they are not just these rampaging beasts, I guess. You give them something that you can maybe connect with.
Because that's literally what we're raised to believe from 2012, is that they're unthinking forces of nature.
Right.
And then we actually go to Crocatoric, and he has feelings. But that's actually kind of that's why Timey's like, I have to rewrite my entire deal, right? Because that's like...
Which we maybe shouldn't have been as surprised by, given Glint, and her ability to connect with us in prophecies and in the instances we've had with her. I don't know, Blast. So maybe we should have seen it coming. I don't know.
Yeah, but I got to agree with you. I love the map. Like I said, it's maybe my favorite in the whole game. I just love being back in Underworld, guys. And then the story was okay, right? It's okay. It wasn't terrible. It was okay. And then I really like the rewards. Me, the grindy farmer in me, love the rewards.
So one thing at the end of that final story instance after epilogue, someone told me that you get a mistboard armor box. Is that I didn't even look at what I got. I clicked accept, closed my inventory, logged out of the game.
Miss Shard armor box. Yeah, you get the boots.
Thank you.
You get the boots. Yeah.
Okay. The boost.
I'll probably unlock if I farm that map enough, I'll probably get all the armor done. So I don't know how you.
I previewed the armor, and I guess it's the upgraded armor from one of the vendors, and I kind of liked it.
This is an upgradable armor set, isn't it? I totally forgot about that. But yeah, you can upgrade this one.
So I'll probably.
I haven't heard a thing about the upgrading on this armor.
No, I actually previewed it the first night that I played, right after I finished the first instance, and I kind of liked. I previewed all weights, and I was like, well, okay, this looks better than what they showed off, and I will probably go for it. Which is not something that I said for Requiem. I was kind of meh about Requiem.
Elegy armor looks better than Requiem armor. I like all of the Mist Shard armor. I don't need it for anybody. So I might get it if it trickles in, but I'm not really focusing on it. And now that I don't have a trinket to make that it might be required for, I have no motivation. That's why I got the Requiem, because I was like, what if you need this
and for... And the Mist Shard armor comes with Diviner stats as one of the choices.
Mm-hmm.
So good stuff for your boon builds out there.
Yep.
You want another source.
Mm-hmm. The DPS boon setup.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan, Carnifex, of the random crystals either when they first showed it off. And the dye palette that they used in the previews didn't really kind of ring any of my bells of Fashion Wars. But I previewed it on my Necro, who is in this like really slick black and red dye scheme, and the armor looked sick. I was like, oh, I want it. So
I'm not gonna lie, I use like black and red is such a cheesy like dye combo. I use it on 2 characters.
Yeah, I use it on 2 characters. I actually didn't move her into even black for a while. I had her in red and I don't remember anymore. Red and white for like the longest time. Red and grays.
I really love red and black, so I try not to overuse it.
Yeah, I don't.
I use it on 2 characters.
I just have this one character in that red and black, and I don't even know what. It's not even like it's not shadow black. It's some I don't know, but it looks really slick on light armor.
Is it Abyssal Sea by chance?
You're gonna make me check.
It's Shadow. It's Shadow Abyss's only competitor for Darkest Black, as far as I recall.
I don't know that I even have that die unlocked. I'll have to check, but I'll let you know after the show.
Abyssal Sea is even more expensive than Shadow Abyss, if I remember correctly. It's like 400 gold or something.
Yeah, the crystals grew on me, Deo.
You got branded.
I'm branded, but yeah.
So fantastic rewards in this patch. It's amazing.
Yeah, so good rewards, really good map. Skyscale. I want to drive it a little bit more kick the tires a bit more before I give a final verdict, I guess, on it.
Skyscale, I'm eye-rolling the collection, but I will do it. That's kind of my final verdict. Eye roll, but I'll do it.
I don't think it was Abyssal Sea that I've got. Hang on.
Chest is only 112 gold for Abyssal Sea. It was really expensive a few months ago. People flip dies like they flip legendaries, right? So dies fluctuate all over the place as well. So yeah, maybe I just caught it on a bad day.
So, anything else? Well, we've got gem store stuff that came out. This one glitched out that they had to disable it. The endless reach. What is it? I don't even know what the official name is.
Teleport friend.
The teleport to friend, but it's not endless, is it?
It didn't. No, it is endless. Yeah,
is it really?
It's endless. It has an hour.
It's called the recharging teleport to friend, though. It's not an endless. I mean, it's not.
It is endless. So you know
it's endless, but it's not called endless.
No, it's not. But what it is an endless teleport to friend. And what it has a 1 hour cooldown per character.
Yes. So people were going into level map complete on like low level characters to farm the keys that we're getting from map completion. So they disabled it, and now low level characters cannot get keys from map completing that map.
So yeah, in level 80 maps now, you must be level 80 to receive a Black Lion key. Because what people would do is they create a character. They would port to Bloodstone Fen, which is a super easy map comp. Complete it in like 2 minutes or whatever. Get a key. Next character, right? And you could do that on every character you had every hour. Someone in my Twitch chat said they got, because a key isn't guaranteed, right? But it's I think it's like a 25% chance per map. Someone in my Twitch chat said they got 9 keys an hour doing this. Like, that's insane, Right, so yeah, they disabled it. Key drops were disabled totally for a while for map completion.
For about a day.
But now, as long as you're level 80, you will get a key, or you will have a chance at a key map completes. So it's better now.
So, you know, I mean, it's a good thing that they patched the exploit. I think that getting more keys in game would be a good thing.
I don't like having an endless teleport to front.
I don't like getting that. I have so many teleport to friends. I don't need an endless one.
I don't either, but the level, like any high-end player, like any like Deroyer, Mighty Teapot, that type of guy, anybody like that could have told you a dozen ways in which this item is abusable, and they put it in the game anyway. There's someone in my chat who comes to my stream all the time who said he found an ecto exploit with the revolving around this item where you could just endlessly generate ectos, and that exists in the game now. Right? It's like they don't care. I don't know. This item
they don't care, or if they didn't catch. I don't know if they didn't catch these exploits. I mean, exploits need to be patched out. That's shouldn't be exploitable.
This item is ripe for it, though. This is the type of item that, I mean, I've exploited teleport to friends, not like to the detriment of the economy, but you know, for those Path of Fire weapon collections where you have to kill a caffeinated scrit. So I killed one caffeinated scrit and then teleport to friended my whole account to the one scrit to get the collection drop on all my different professions, so I would never have to do that again. Right. Because screw caffeinated scrits. That's a harmless example of the type of thing.
Here I've been using teleports to friends just to teleport to friends when I needed to get into a map to go do something.
No, I only use mine when I desperately need them. But yeah, I don't think this item should exist. It's too rancid.
I think we get enough. I think we have enough sources other than the trading post, not the trading post, the gem store. We get pooped. I have a stack of teleport to friends just from, I think, birthday rewards. I don't know how I have so many teleport to friends because I never buy them, but I've got a crap ton.
Oh, you get them for birthdays, 5 per birthday.
So there you go. And I've got a lot of characters.
If you have like 90 characters, right? So
like
you make about 500 a year, basically.
I think I have over 100 now, though.
Yeah.
Anyways, other things, other gem story things. My thing though, I had the branded legacy chest. Is this the thing that's in the Black Lion chest? You get a teal branded mist, which is I have no idea what it's even used for.
It's just an item. When you get enough of them, you can make it into an item that sells to the vendor for liquid gold. That's it. Huh. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty stupid.
And I think one of the because I got, what did we get keys in? I got keys out of something recently, and these were in it, and or out of the chests.
But the teal branded
effects are active. Defeat enemies for a chance to find teal petals, and then combine 12 petals to form a valuable teal bloom.
Which is just a liquid gold item at a merchant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Branded package and the Hydra staff. The Hydra staff is back, I believe.
I might have to buy keys. I really like the Hydra staff. The only thing I buy keys for is when one of those absolutely cancerous Black Lion exclusive weapons comes into the statuette store.
Yes.
Then I will buy keys to get enough statuettes to get it.
Oh, that staff. That staff is creepy.
That is a better legendary staff than both of the legendary staffs. It has better effects, it has better animations, and it's louder.
It's better. I've never heard it. I've never seen it in game. So I don't know. I probably haven't seen it in game. I don't know. It's kind of ugly.
I love it. I think it looks dope. The animations on it are really good. Like the 3 heads.
I think it would work with like a fire themed character if you had like.
Exactly. And I have a fire themed elementalist that uses staff for boss fights.
Then it's perfect.
Yep.
The branded relic glider and the branded relic back piece. our thing?
Yep. I didn't even. My disinterest level was so high, I didn't even look at what they look like.
I didn't even look at what they look like either. And Delphi is MIA, so
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say
posting.
they are purple and spiky.
Yes, because you've also got the branded weapon collection. These I did look at. I looked at some of them. They look kind
We
of
looked
cool.
at these last episode. We covered them on the show. They're a pretty good weapon set. I like them. I like them a lot.
So,
and chat, of course, thinks the Hydra staff is terrible. Nobody ever likes the stuff I like. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I still might spend $60 on getting it.
So that's your gem store stuff. Yeah, black branded weapons are at the Black Lion Merchant. They cost 1 ticket each currently.
Mm-hmm. Pretty low-key gem store releases for a finale patch.
Yeah, it's not.
I bet you'll see the big gem store patch on Tuesday.
Like this. Here's we're silly, aren't we? That is the branded glider and backpack. It's on the freaking post. So, it's branded crystals.
That's exactly what I said it was going to be.
When I first saw it, I was like, what are those things? And because you know what it reminded me of? You know that flower glider skin with the flower petals?
There are a lot of those.
No. There's one specifically that's called the floral glider.
I have no idea what that is.
It's okay.
Sounds like if Kudzu.
Someone will remember in chat.
If you turn Kudzu like horizontal and use it as a glider.
Yeah, so I was like, is that more flowers? And I didn't realize that they were crystals. I think I looked at this when I was at work, so there you go. Attention span being distracted by actually.
And then like every other glider back piece, I'm sure the back piece version is terrible.
That's your Hydra skin if people are wondering.
It's a cool staff, man. I can't believe people don't like it. That blows my mind.
I think it's the Hydra heads.
I don't know. How is that? Like, that's so much better than either Nevermore or
Minecraft. It reminds me of the back piece that you can get out of Ember Bay.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
That would be good with that back piece.
Well, it would clip terribly with that back piece.
It would clip with that back piece. So what you would have to do is micromanage your character.
But like,
show the back piece only when you're wielding the weapon, and then stow the back piece right away.
I know we've had like a disgustingly long show, but like staff is the worst weapon for legendaries because both of them are bad. Like,
I like Nevermore.
They're both bad. And I feel like this is better than both of them. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe you're crazy.
I'm sure after like my rant on nubs in this chat that most people do think I'm crazy.
It's okay.
That might have been overboard. It might have been overboard, guys.
A little.
Still, no mounts and no exotic armor. I don't know about that. I might have been going a bit too far, Miko.
A little. Just a little.
Might have been an extreme analogy.
You were, hyperbole is your thing, so it's okay. We're kind of used to it. We let it roll. Okay, community thing. So I was gonna tell you about how I got a legendary weapon.
Yeah, Miko's been donated a free legendary. Which one? Is it Exordium?
The Minstrel.
Oh, okay. That doesn't bother me nearly as much.
No, it was a focus. And one of my raiders, who's in chat, but I won't embarrass him, but he knows who he is, gifted me and my co-raid leader, Arrow, legendary opens as thank yous this week. Which, it basically blew our minds. Because
cool.
it's not something that you expect. So we were really super touched.
Yeah, that's pretty
I think
cool.
we both gasped. I was on comms with Arrow when she got hers. I think I had logged in to play the episode. And I was like, oh, I've got mail. Why do I have mail? And I opened it and it was mail. And it had this. And I was like, oh. So yeah, it nearly made me cry. I messaged you and you didn't reply. And
in game or on Discord?
I messaged you in Discord.
I don't know how I missed it.
I don't know. You were busy doing. You may have been busy playing something or ranting about Timegating. The Timegating maybe, or flying down the magic school bus. But yeah, so yeah, it was really nice. It came. It came after a couple of weeks where we've been, for other reasons going on, just feeling a bit down. And so it was really nice to just get that. So thank you for the minstrel. Arrow got Bolt, so she's super excited because she's a Chrono main as well, and she finally has a main hand legendary sword. She makes legendaries for everybody else, but she doesn't make them for herself.
Imagine.
Yeah.
And I only make them for me. I've never given one away.
I know. So yeah. So that was my community shout out there. And then the new Snow Crow's raid viability comp is out. It is Demo CM. The Karen CM was the last one. It was a bit painful for some of the groups, but they had good times.
I think that's funny how
like 17 groups that participated. 17 or 18 groups that participated in the last one, which was good because I think the previous one before that was maybe 5 or 6. I can't even remember now.
I think that's funny how the because Karen is like considered one of the easiest raid bosses, but you throw the CM on.
Karen CM, you have to, the special action key that you dash around with in regular Karen. So in Karen CM,
the zoom,
the zoom, the dash skill, the special action key, you have to activate it, or the game will activate it for you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when it activates it, it launches you off the platform and kills you. So it basically becomes another button that you have to work into your rotation.
Well, luckily you don't get banned if you macro button presses. So
that's right.
You can just do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because there's no such thing as cheating in Guild Wars 2, guys. You can do whatever you want. Literally whatever you want.
We're not going to get on another rant right now.
So stupid.
So the next raid viability comp is Demo CM. And it is going to be open until June 7th, I want to say. I lost my end date. June 8th, sorry. June 8th. So there are gem giveaways that are going to be happening. They will probably be getting some matched. No, they're not actually. Technical difficulty. ArenaNet is unable to support the competition this time. They were last time, though.
Why are they unable to?
I don't know. Due to technical issues.
What is stopping ArenaNet from
I don't know. Target just put in his post that due to technical issues, ArenaNet is unable to support the competition. I'm not sure what those technical issues are.
Stopping them from giving them $30 worth of gems to give away.
But Snow Crows is providing gem giveaways as well. 6,000 for the first team, 4,000 for second place, and 2,000 for third. So there you go. If you're interested in funky comps and rating Demos challenge mode, which is not that bad, you can go do that. And the other piece of community news is that GuildMag, which Aaron and I have both been a part of over the years, has closed its doors.
It's a sad day.
It was a sad day. It was a hard decision to make. I'm one of the guild leaders of GuildMag, as well as being on the team. So it was not an easy decision to make. We are known for the annual. We've become known for the annual magazine, which comes out at the end of the year.
Been doing magazines since 2010, though.
2010. Right? It's been 9 years. And it's had lots of different people involved with it. Lots of community partnerships that we've forged over the years. But really we got to the point where we'd have, content to put out and not enough time to design the magazines to the standards that we wanted to be able to share with the community. Because over the years, the one thing that's happened with GuildMag is that the quality of the magazines has improved, and the shiny prettiness of it has always improved as well. And everyone has time constraints.
The content release schedule is also getting so fast. You can't produce a magazine in between releases.
Yeah, no, you can't. So it becomes it's easier to produce blog posts, but to do a magazine to the quality that we are proud of, it's not easy. When you've got maybe one or two designers, basically one designer, and help from maybe two, it just becomes untenable. So we made the hard decision. We had considered whether we would just stop making magazines and become just blogs, and we were like, well, why are we GuildMag then? We didn't want to not offer annuals or offer annuals that were lower quality, and because that felt just poopy. So yeah, we made the decision. We said, well, maybe it's just time. It's a question that has come up in the past of the history of the site. Is it time to close down? Decided yes, it's time to close down. Go out on a high note. The annual 2018, which I have a copy of across the room, was beautiful. It was the most money that we'd raised for charity in the history of GuildMag. So we thought, you know what, let's go out on a high note. So we made a decision to close down. We do still have a Discord. We do still have an in-game guild, and we have part of the team that has a new venture planned, which we will be announcing by the end of the month, probably the final week of May, first week of June-ish, around there. So we'll still be around as content creators. A group of us will, but we're not going to be under the GuildMag banner. We'll have a new name. We'll rebrand our in-game guild and Discord, because we still have a community, and we still have community connections, and we still care about producing content for Guild Wars 2. So we're going to keep doing that, just not as GuildMag. It's been fun. It was a good ride.
I have my 2015 annual in this drawer, but this is in the way. I can't open it.
Yeah.
Although it is still in the envelope that it was mailed in.
Yeah. I was part of the decision, making behind creating the annual in the first place. When I first came on I first joined the team as a writer back in 2013. And
the 2014 annual was the first annual.
The 2014 print magazine, which was not sold. It was an in-house. I have a copy of that somewhere around here as well.
So it's the rare one.
It's the rare one. It has cover art. It was it was the PvP from Guild Wars 1. The statues that... Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember what that's called. But Vasberg did a custom cover for that issue. We released it a digital.
The Great Temple of Balthazar loading art?
I think so. No, I don't know. But it was the statues that they have wings on their back and they're holding hands up to the Hall of Heroes. Thank you, Dave.
Oh, Hall of Heroes. Yeah, that's the one. I never did Hall of Heroes.
So if you go out to guildmag.com, because the site is up, and because we have so much lore content and lore interviews from over these years, this entire almost decade, we're going to be preserving that. There are a lot of links from the wiki that tie back to GuildMag because of all of the access that we've had to devs over the years. None of that is going away. We're putting the site on archive mode, so the community will still have access to all of that content. So that's not going away, and that was important to us, to not shut the website down and lose all of that lore. Because we've been working on the lore area for years, and several other fan sites that were working on lore and had lore interviews from way back and shut their doors. That content was lost, and it becomes difficult to track the history of the game. So for us, it was very important to make sure that we don't let that happen. So we're preserving the site. The 2014 magazine, we printed it in-house. We did a small number just for the team, and we sent a couple of copies to ArenaNet. Fastberg did the cover. He's done several of our covers. So that was when we started kicking around the idea, and that was exciting. So 2015 is when we did the first annual. So it's it's been a good run, and a lot of people have worked on GuildMag and been able to hone skills just as working as fans, like doing podcasting like we're doing here, doing design work, writing, and that they've been able to take that and help their own personal careers out, which we're super proud of. And that was one of the things that we always...
This show is an evolution of the GuildMag podcast.
It is. That's where one of the things that Aaron and I did for GuildMag. And we started streaming for GuildMag, and now we both stream. Well, Aaron streams a lot.
That's true. Yeah, my first ever streaming was on the GuildMag channel in 2016.
Yeah.
Map completion, y'all.
Yeah. And we did the Heart of Thorns betas.
The bag opening.
The bag opening.
The 5-hour bag opening cast.
Yeah.
That was great.
It was good times. Aaron single-handedly almost carried all of our content in 2015 before Heart of Thorns. He wrote so many blog posts for us. We burnt him out. He was like, after that year, he was like, guys, I need a break.
After that, I was like, I'm buying a $1,500 computer and I'm going to start streaming.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been good. It's been nice to see. It's been nice getting the community feedback. I will say the one ironic point for me has been seeing the feedback from Twitter as opposed to the feedback on Facebook.
Don't go to Facebook.
Facebook is becoming worse than Reddit. It's horrible.
I don't know why I do this, but on every Guild Wars 2 release, I read the Facebook comments.
Don't read the Facebook comments on the
Guild Wars 2. It makes me
account.
glad that terrible. You'd think Twitter's bad, but it made me glad I picked Twitter.
Yeah.
Let me just put it that way. Yeah. Made me glad I picked Twitter. Holy crap, Facebook comments.
Yeah. So that's the story. We are, like I said, we're going to be launching a new project in a couple of weeks, and we hope that you come along for the ride and give us a follow when we have our channels out publicly. Yeah. That's the story of GuildMag. Good time. I'm glad I was a part of it, for sure. Mm-hmm.
We will continue to raid in the GuildMag Guild, but like you said, it'll get a rename.
Yeah. Yep, we'll still be there. So that's all I got for you, for us. I think we're done. Dude, this show has been 3 hours.
I don't want to talk about it.
I said we were going to have a long one.
Yeah, this is our longest show to date, easily. Yeah. Remember on the GuildMag podcast when we had to keep it to 60 minutes? Remember that?
Yeah.
Insanity.
I know. Valiant was really good, super strict. He's like, we got to keep it to an hour. It's and we'd go over and we were like, oh, we went over by 15 minutes or half an hour. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. It was bad.
Yeah, but it's all right. We're a lot looser here.
We kind of just ramble until we get through the show notes. Yeah. And then we look at the timer.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
So that's what we got. That's episode 9. I have nothing else to add. Do you, Aaron?
I think we've exhaustively covered everything.
All right. Well, we are TyriaNow. If you want to know more about us, follow our content. You can follow Aaron at Guild Wars Monk everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I am Inky Sticks. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, I think, as well. Aaron publishes more stuff than I do. TyriaNow is our Twitch channel. If you haven't followed our channel, give us a follow. Press that button. The email address, if you need to get in touch with us, is tyrianow@gmail.com. Give our Twitter account a follow, twitter.com/TyriaNow.
Yes.
The things everywhere. And that's episode 9.
I think I physically aged like visually throughout this podcast. That was a harrowing experience.
3 hours of, well, we had a lot to cover.
We did. It was a hefty patch, hefty discussion.
Yeah.
And we're all caught up now.
Yep, we are all caught up. So thank you for sticking with us. Those of you who've stuck out the 3 hours that this show has gone. Our next show will be on June 1st. 2 weeks.
Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Night, guys.